Invader, this is for the invader. Invader, send home the invader. All praises to the Most High. All praises to the Most High. All praises to the Most High. Give them all praises. Give them all praises. Where the fuck am I going? Who the hell could I be? All this time I've been lost. Vessel trapped in the sea. Chains holding my legs. I just want to be free. Fist picking my throat. Hell yeah, they know it. Heritage keep going. You can see it in my phenotypes and that damn Indian showing. This knowledge keeping me steady. 45 on my hip and my armor man stay ready. I hit the streets in my Chevy. Blunt burning, smoke in heaven. Man, here you go, I got plenty. Prayers up for what's in it. In the land I lost many. Cause every nigga ain't friendly. And every man ain't manly. No D-bows but Stanley. No heroes for my family. Why the pigs killing us daily. Invader, this is for the invader. Invader, send home the invader. All praises to the Most High. All praises to the Most High. All praises to the Most High. Give them all praises. Give them all praises. Invader, this is for the invader. Invader, send home the invader. All praises to the Most High. All praises to the Most High. All praises to the Most High. Give them all praises. Give them all praises. Where the fuck do you come from? Kidnapping our babies. 11 million abortions. Whole country is scorched. Native stealing my portion. Bitch, give me my land back. We ain't signed no contracts. Why you wasting all of our trust funds? We don't know who your dad is, but we know who your kinfolk. Take the food off of my plate. Eat that shit with my folk. You invader. Motherfucking invader. Invader. This is for the invader. Invader, send home the invader. All praises to the Most High. All praises to the Most High. All praises to the Most High. Give them all praises. Give them all praises. Invader, this is for the invader. Invader, send home the invader. All praises to the Most High. All praises to the Most High. All praises to the Most High. Give them all praises. Give them all praises. Hey ya, hey ya, hey ya, hey ya, hey ya. Hey ya, hey ya, hey ya. All praises to the Most High. All praises to the Most High. All praises to the Most High. Give them all praises. Give them all praises. Invader, this is for the invader. Invader, send home the invader. Invader, this is for the invader. Invader, send home the invader. Invader, this is for the invader. Invader, send home the invader. All praises to the Most High. All praises to the Most High. All praises to the Most High. Give them all praises. Give them all praises. Hey ya, 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 hey ya. Hey ya, 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 hey ya.
All right, y'all, let's get into it, man. Peace to the gods, man. Peace to the goddesses. Peace to the Aborigines, North, South, Central, as well as the conjoining island. It is I, a Tontinus one, Ahano Kiel, or A1, whatever you prefer to address me as. And we're going to be going into a little bit of this debate. I put the link in the chat room, so if anybody want to come on, the link is here. I'm waiting for Cuddy if he can come share some of the audio. Or actually, you know what? Fuck it, I got something. I already got this shit pulled up. Let me see. So they on live right now. So let's tune into this until we get a conversation going on. All right, so
say if someone were to be able to produce a bill of sale from describing Chattel, right, another brother or sister that was describing their origin as being from this land? One, are you familiar with the SF-181 form? Two, and also, what would you say about someone whose nationality or ethnicity has been described 4 different times over the span of 40 years on a census report? Same individual being called Negro, Black African American, but before mulatto, but before Indian.
I mentioned something about
I'm not
it.
able to hear you, bro.
I said you asked me 3 questions. I mean,
I definitely did.
You can't do it that way.
Okay, so I'll stick with the.
You said what if I could find someone that has a bill of sale that says what?
Someone were to present to you a bill of sale describing a brother or sister and their origins being described as being from this particular land. Because what I hear a lot that takes place in the movement is that people will sometimes defend an argument that I personally don't hear is being made. So I don't think that anybody in the Aboriginal movement contends that no Africans made it to the Americas on the transatlantic slave trade. I don't hear anybody say that particularly. So I don't think that anybody contends that those bills of sales are fake, but that doesn't obviously account for the entirety of people that, were engaged in that transatlantic slave trade. So I was asking, what would you say if someone were to present you a bill of sale describing someone's origin as being from this land?
I would say they got it from my course. 2 to 5 million Native Americans were enslaved prior to Africans. And during even the time that Africans were there were Native people that were enslaved. Mm-hmm. That's a historical.
So let's stop it right there, right? So you heard what he just said, right? He said that, and that's the Brown University source, right? 2 to 5 million so-called Indians was enslaved, according to them. I don't even believe that no more. But according to them, right here in North America. Now, do this silly nigga know how many people they claim they bought here? They only claim they bought 200,000 now. I think the actual number is 200,000. I mean, I got Slave Void pulled up right here, but I wasn't planning on going in it, but we can. But it was 200,000 people bought the North America. So if you believe 2.5 to 5 million so-called Indians was enslaved in the mainland of North America itself, wouldn't that population of people devour the 200,000 people who was on these same plantations according to what these niggas is saying? I mean, if y'all want to add in, y'all can add in, because I'm going to be going back and forth, so.
Oh, no, you already know me, bro. Salute, man. Salute
Peace to
God,
man.
Hey, man, I ain't gonna front, man. I mean, I ain't trying to, give it all what I got right now, but I felt like Ali could have did better with, you know what I'm saying? Some more solid talking points. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. I agree. I totally agree. I didn't personally like the route he took. I mean, for Jabari is weak, but he needed more. He needed more sources, man. He needed more sources. You know what I'm saying? And I don't like the way he don't understand, even when he was talking about the fucking Mexico belonged to the Moorish people. Like, you have to put emphasis on that. You have to expound that conversation. You don't just say, so some Arabics from North Africa or over there came over here and took over a whole area, and then they made the Indians their subservients. The fuck out of it. They talking about the Mongols. They're not talking about Indians. They calling the people here Moors, and they talking about the Mongols. You understand what I'm saying? But however it go, right? To his question, what he just asked him, right? He said, what would he say? We see the classifications. We can go to Walter Plecker and see that. And see that just didn't happen in Virginia. But then we can go to Virginia and show you the images of what they saying the Indians was looking like. He didn't have enough of that information.
Right.
Yeah, I got knocked out, man. I got knocked out of the debate, so I got about 3-4 minutes of it, got a phone call, I got knocked out, man. Couldn't get back in. But peace to the gods. Peace to the Americans.
Peace.
Yeah, I'm gonna be looking in the window, see what y'all cooking.
Word, man. Yeah, but he definitely could have elaborated a lot more with, some clerical, you know what I'm saying? Just even with using Edom Online, with explaining Indian and you know what I'm saying? Or, just I just felt like he could have gave a better clarification of what he was saying, because it was kind of open for somebody to assume, you know what I'm saying, whatever they wanted to assume about it. I just really felt like he was gonna come way harder than what he came, man. Like, I really did.
Yeah, exactly. So, but yeah, I mean, even with that right there, right? Like the whole conversation that Ali Muhammad, he's paying the same conversation that we're paying.
Right. He used some of the same talking points. And that's what I'm saying. Like, you brought that article out, what, about 5 years ago, about the Moors and the Indians associates?
And you have to put it in perspective, because a lot of us don't understand that. We still going by conventional history, even though we ain't supposed to be going by. We go by
Right.
conventional history when it's a custom or it's occasional for us to add it to research that we already don't believe in anyway. So it's like, you have to make sense of it. See, what I would have did was I would have went into white slave. I would have opened up a can of worms and just
Right.
put more things in perspective. Because even if we go with that whole source about Indians being enslaved in South Carolina, well, let's take a look at how many Negroes owned slaves.
Slave owners, exactly.
So let's take a look at that. Fuck that pitiful shit that he, and this is going to you're going to have to make sense of this. This stupid nigga said that that an African, I think the Clotilda, one of them boats, he pulled up on shore, rushed the people off, and then went back out in the water and sunk the boat. Do you real, man? Oh my God, man!
Hell no.
He actually said this. See, what I would have did was I would have put it out there that his whole education by these special interest groups, that they already told you what they wanted to do with the general education system. So if he used that, I'm already going to show that his whole, and he keeps saying, oh, my students. Yo, you work for the exact same people who put us in the situation we in now.
Yep.
That's the conversation. I'm going to put a conspiracy theory on the fact that he don't know what he's talking about, and that his employees are the same people who put us in a situation now. So, I mean, I'm gonna play a little bit more, but let's look. I want to hear my man respond to this idiotic shit.
Well, fact. That's not something that would surprise me. So I think we need to understand that occurred. But that does not mean, however, that the majority of the people that were brought here that were enslaved were not people of African descent. And so we all, anyone who's read anything knows that the European attempted to enslave Europeans, native people first. I mean, if you just are even familiar with the work of Bartolome de las Casas.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I mean, you would, he's talking about what they were doing to native people. And then he says, well, we should enslave Africa.
Kind of cut out there, brother.
Jabari, you cut out. Jabari.
If he doesn't go on, I do have a question for Chief Ali, and it's someone I've never heard anybody ask in the Aboriginal movement.
Go ahead, brother.
Is it possible, or first, well, I wish Jabari was on, but I'll say this. Is it possible that people of African descent, continental Africans, do earlier navigations, end up here, settled the land, and then described themselves or came under these the names is Kitua, not Autochtons at that point, but Cherokee, Choctaw, or whatever the original names would have been. Not possible. I can't hear you, brother. Chief, I can hear you, Chief.
Huh?
Yes, sir. I hear you now.
Okay. The first answer is no, because this is one of the reasons I show the antiquity of their perception of their calendars. That Coba Stele shows that those people who were in the Mexico area had calendars from their perception that went back 41 octillion years in stone, bro. So they weren't, so that's an intelligent people that who I didn't get a chance to show this, who had the compass, who could travel, who knew the earth was a sphere and knew where to go on the earth. These people could have easily said our ancestry comes from another place. They have nothing in the 3 codices that's linked or any monuments saying anything about coming from somewhere. They've mentioned ships. They mentioned navigation from Bonaparte to Yucatan. All this stuff is there. You think them smart people who got calendars, they calculated back to 14 octillion years in all these cycles, who mapped the heavens and did all these things, wouldn't be able to say, yeah, we from over here. But they did have codexes, the Codex Botarini, that said that Eurasians came on to this land from somewhere else.
Okay.
And so all I'm saying is that after that base population, there was that's why I showed the interactions. I showed the antiquity first with the ancient calendars and all that. Then I showed the interactions, because later there were people from the continent we call Africa. Now we got to deal with the law too, because these people did not call themselves African. So now when they was coming back and forth, he talking about my point about Abu Bakari and Mansa Musa. They didn't even know what an African was, bro. They had their own indigenous name for their tribe. They had a religion that they practiced, but they didn't know what Africa was, bro.
Okay.
They had no conception of it. And so that's important too when you start talking about polities in ancient times or modern times, and you start dealing with these words that we're using that are politically defeatist. Not only on this land, but over there on that land. That's a fiction.
Right. Even the people that we call Native Americans here were not contend that we wouldn't contend that they're Native, because if you look from a law disposition, a Black's Laws Dictionary, Native meaning born abroad also means denizen. Denizen also being someone.
Yeah. So that's not the point. The point that I was, just to answer your question in clarity, one of the reasons why I showed the antiquity of how that civilization saw themselves 41 octillion years ago, they saw themselves being born on that land from the back of a turtle. That's the myth. But they put it in calendars, and they were great astronomers. They had the language. I put the language that right there so you can see it, which we would call Mayan, or then lead back to Epi-Olmec, which those two are connected, the glyphs and everything. So now you have this base population that's not saying they're from anywhere. And then when you go into chronology, you start seeing, coca leaves popping up in Egypt from the population, which I didn't get to show some of this stuff because we know we're going so fast. Who was the compass developed amongst? It was developed amongst the Olmecs, and the Mayans used it too. We have I can pull all this stuff up now in the post debate. We can go 10 hours. I can show you all this stuff. So we have the ability to navigate do those things. That's all.
We got a few people in the building. Jabari, you want to finish responding real quick?
He's talking, but his mic is muted.
I hear you, brother.
Ooh, wait. Yeah, I want to say that I continually hear Brother Ali mention things that just, I mean, when you check the sources, they just don't. It's a little frustrating. They just don't jive. He says it very, very confidently, but when you look at what he's talking about, they don't make sense. Now he's on another codex because he tried to say, why does this codex show people that are supposed to be black on it? From 1537, when Africans were enslaved in starting 15, at least 1559.
By the way, that's a ridiculous point.
I don't know how it's a ridiculous point. You're saying, why is it that we see Africans on this codex in 1537? Your implication are, why are they calling them Negroes? But even if they
answer the question.
I'm not finished. Even if they were Negroes, even if what you are seeing is correct, there were people of African descent that were there that had already been enslaved. So I want you to know that he makes a lot of strange arguments. You question him on it. Then he tries to slip back to something else. He tells us that we're not from Africa. Then he says that we are from Africa. Then he actually says, why are they saying that the Yamasee have Negroes? And then you look at it and everyone knows that the Yamasee had also taken and formerly enslaved people. You have to look at every single one of his sources. It is exhausting. But there's one thing that you will know. He ain't used any of his sources correctly. Not one. Brother Ali, you need to do better on this.
Hey, do I get a chance to rebut what he's saying right now in the back chat?
Every single one of your sources, every single one of your sources was poorly used. And I don't know why. I don't get it. He shows us Inca stones. He goes on Inca stones for 15 minutes. And then he has to acknowledge, well, he claims, well, there's some of them that are real, but some of them are forgeries. I would love for him to show us a source. What does the source say about which is real and which is fake? The sources say that they are forgeries. So, but if he was arguing that some were real and some weren't, why did he say that? So, I mean, this is he has the ability to say things very confidently. I'm telling you, he lost his calling. He should be selling used cars. Because you would buy an old Chevy Nova, a 1982 Chevy Nova, and be like, this is going to be the joint. And it wouldn't even get you to the corner.
All right, listen, both of y'all gonna have to keep it short because we got a lot of people that want to ask y'all questions. Ali,
I want to say something about what he just said.
Jabari is hollering for help.
Nah, I keep it a buck though. Ali Muhammad went in, but he didn't land his plane the way he's supposed to. You know what I'm saying? He had a rough landing. Real talk. Yeah, I'm critiquing him. And I got all the shit. I got all the shit to prove that Negroes is already. He ain't used no archaeology. He used the Yamasee source, which I be using, but he didn't use. He could have used archaeology. He could have used remains. He could have used Carlos Chavez Marquez source. He could have used so many different sources that tell you it was already Negroes here. He could have just went and used had a compound amount of information just on the sources. He didn't show enough actual images for me. You see what I'm saying? Like he showed the existence of them here, but you gotta two things you have to challenge. You gotta challenge the African slave story. You gotta challenge that. And the other thing you gotta challenge is people just coming up on our land doing what they supposed want to do.
So he didn't do that.
You gotta challenge that. You can't just let nobody.
He didn't put civilization here. He didn't defend the civilization that was already here.
Exactly. He showed, but one thing he did show that was crucial, that'll show a lot of you guys, right? He showed the fact that that Mayan image where they were hung, he said it was an African, really was a Roman Moor that had the cross.
Okay, I know that image. Yeah.
So he's saying they came over here trying to bring Christianity. That's the doctrine of discovery. See, he ain't even tell you that the people over in Europe that made this shit was Negroes. He ain't even put that out there. There's so many things he left just open because he, like I said, he's one of them too who read that information. He's curious because, you know, to be a researcher, you have to be curious. You can't just rely on the information that you're reading.
Exactly.
You can't just rely on that. You have to, when you find things that doesn't fit into the narrative that they so willingly give you education. Any other time, they giving niggas free vaccines and all this other shit, right? So when it comes to information that's not being put out there or information that they withholding, then you should be like, wait a minute, hold up. I just paid over $55,000 to go to this college and I ain't never hear none of this shit.
I know some salty people out there spent all that money to go to these colleges and didn't get all the information, didn't even get the true agenda, and conspiracy. That's all they got.
Hey yo, A1, what's up, bro?
What's up, Will?
Hey man, did you catch when he was bringing up just a few seconds ago? He was bringing up the Jesuit letters and the black, and how they was, so called like unlike the. He said they were not unlike the Ethiopians. You caught that part?
Oh, you talking about the Verrazano source. Yeah, I mean, and that's them. You don't even really have to use that,
Yeah.
but you can. But look, listen, it tells you clearly, even in that letter, what it's saying. They're very much dark. Listen, what is
Yeah.
Asian features? Do we not
Right.
have black people who got slanty eyes and
That's
eyes
hey,
equal?
that's exactly where I was going, bro. So he said the thing is said they are not unlike Ethiopians, but they have Oriental features. I'm like, okay, hold on, let's stop for a second. I got folks that ask me, am I Ethiopian when I go to the farmers market, right? So when they say they are not unlike the Ethiopians, that means they are similar to the Ethiopians.
Exactly, and he
Like
didn't.
nigga,
And
we got the same hair, or we got some of the same hair types, but slanty eyes like the Orientals.
But not even
Yeah,
slanty eyes. He added that to it. Like he said,
yeah.
Ethiopians do.
yeah, that's some added. That's some
You
added
right,
shit.
you right, you
I
right,
got two sources. I got two sources. I got one, the original source, and then I got the remix single, the
right,
remix version of it. You know what I'm saying? I
right.
got the original source say that they are unlike that they are like Ethiopians.
Yeah,
No, no,
it
no,
said
no, no.
yeah, it said not unlike. So that means they're saying
Not unlike the Ethiopians.
There's two of them though.
yeah, that
One of
means
them say
similar.
they look like Saracens,
Yeah,
and the other one say they like Ethiopians.
yep, yep,
So there's two sources to that. Saracens
exactly.
are niggas.
But look, but Jabari couldn't conceive that. Listen, when it says not unlike, it's telling
Yes,
you they're not unlike them. That means they are like them. You see what I'm
that's right.
saying?
That's right.
It's like
Mm-hmm.
if she said you're not
Yeah, we
unlike
hear
your
you,
father.
A1.
Yeah, that means she like you. You like him. You know what I'm saying? Similar. So
Yeah.
I think Jabari missed that, man. So he's reading that
See,
part off.
it ain't that he missed it, Wolf.
Yeah.
It's that nigga's an agent, bro. Cause can't nobody be that naive. Look how naive he is. He's naive to be a grown ass man, bro.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. So he caught that. He just was, but why he kept bringing it up though? He kept saying they're not unlike the Ethiopians, brother. I don't get why he didn't realize that's us, fool. Because I get asked about am I Ethiopian, and I'm not Ethiopian. I'm just similar to them because you know what I'm saying. That's how they would categorize Aboriginal Americans. They would say they're similar to those people, but different in phenotype. You get what I'm saying? I don't know how he missed that. You know, I think he still was like, why is it saying they're not unlike Ethiopians? You know, I just thought that was interesting, bro.
Yeah.
Keep
And
getting
that's what I'm
knocked
saying.
out
Like
there.
even with that. Oh, you said who me or him?
Yeah, you.
You said me. I
No, he
wasn't even
right there.
I wasn't even
Yeah, you
saying
keep
that.
getting knocked out.
No, you good. Go ahead.
But yeah, it's like his whole thing, what he was saying, like he didn't. I don't know. I mean, it was alright, but it was like eh.
Nah, he ain't come with that same energy, man. I don't know what happened because
He
you
got the
talking about
energy.
you talking about Ali.
Yeah. Ali got the
Yeah,
energy. That's why I had so much confidence in him. Even though I got knocked out, I didn't hear it, but I know he was going to put it to him. I got knocked out, couldn't watch it, you know.
yeah,
So I can't speak on it. I can't speak on it. You know, I know Ali. I've heard him go to work, and you know, he don't hold no punches. You know, that motherfucker kill you, put your ground dick you up, and put some more dirt back on top of you with the knowledge that he got. So I'm you know, kind of not disappointed, but surprised that you know the pre-debate 2 weeks ago on Sade's channel, he
he
put
was
the work
smoking
on
shit.
Jabari.
Yeah, he was smoking
Yeah,
shit.
yeah, he
The
was putting
lights,
it on him. You know.
yeah, the lights get on, it get hot. It man get
Yeah.
hot. Yeah. Cause I'm saying I would have called all that little shit, like how it said they're not unlike the Ethiopians. I would have said, Jabari, what Oriental person you know that's similar to an Ethiopian nigga? The fuck? What Native American have you seen that could be mistaken for Ethiopian? They talking about us, man.
Uh.
The whole debate could have been over.
Mm-hmm.
That letter is talking about us because I get mistaken for an Ethiopian all the time. I'm like, no, I'm American. No, I'm not Ethiopian. They go, okay, okay. And I'm looking at them like, nigga, we not the same. I see how y'all kind of brown and sandy and copper,
Mm-hmm.
but But that letter, that Jesuit letter, talking about us. You know what I'm saying? And Jabari, he was saying it, but didn't even peep. It was talking about us. He said they're dark, brother. They're dark skinned, not unlike the Ethiopian, and they have Oriental features. It's like, nigga, that's us. I got homeboys in the hood that look Asian. Well, they look high all the time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we used to call them pie face.
Yeah, they niggas.
Yeah.
You think they like, what the hell? Why are their eyes like that? It just came from the projects.
Yeah.
That's,
Know the
yeah,
nigga your whole life, you know.
yeah. His eyes just low.
Right. Just got them slant eyes and that old pie flat ass face.
Yep.
But you know he was one of us.
Exactly, bro.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
had a couple of fallacious arguments, man. That just I was sitting up there scratching my head like, yo, what the fuck? Do you not understand what he's saying? And see the Abu Kari story, I wouldn't even allow that because you gotta understand, right? People just wasn't traveling freely like that, right?
Right.
Oh shit! Oh, they just went all the way to California like it was nothing, right? You know, some of the he said, oh my God, what the hell is the lady name? The Ojibwe Indian name, the picture, the sculptor, I can't think of her name. He said she had a Haitian father. So Haitians went all the way from Haiti all the way up into Canada, or was they French? You see what I'm saying? People go
Right.
ask
Right.
them. You understand what I'm saying? We know it was
Yep.
Black French up there, but they
Right.
gonna say it was Haiti because they spoke Creole. So
Mm-hmm.
these niggas is all fucked up when it come to history. These people got these niggas running in like the bumper car effect. You know what I'm saying? Like real talk. They
Boop.
like the bumper car effect. Niggas just bumping into each other one at a time or whatever. And it's like it's not
Yeah.
even making no sense because it's like, you know,
Right.
even when you look at what his source just said, look, let me hold up. I'm gonna stop this real quick. We
And the
go here
basis
real
of the
quick.
conversation is knowing that, hey, this is your land and you want all the rights that come with it. And we
But he
have
don't
all the
but
rights that's
he
come with
don't
it.
understand because it takes look, I learned shit from Ali Muhammad too, bro. I'm not gonna sit here, but he need to
Mm-hmm.
learn shit from us. We didn't went further. So this is from Brown University. This is colonial enslavement of Native Americans, included those who surrender, right? Now I'm only gonna go on this part right here because I can show you that this shit was in the Carolinas, right? But however it go,
Right.
it say Native American slavery is a piece of history of slavery that has been glossed over, Fisher said. Between 1492 and 1880, between 2 and 5.5 million Native Americans were enslaved in America, in addition to 12.5 million Africans enslaved. Now remember, the 12.5 million Africans was distributed, according to their story, throughout the Americas. This number, the 2.5 to 5 million, was enslaved here in North America, and some of them was sent out to Barbados. Some of them was. But check this out, right? Now we got
Mm-hmm.
a number to play with. We got a number to play with, right? Let's say if
Okay.
it was 1 million, 1 million in Native American or Aborigines that was enslaved in America, which I don't believe. We just want to hypothetically say, right? It was 1 million, right? This is the number of how many so-called African slaves came to the Americas. Look, this is the United States distribution, and this is the total
Mm-hmm.
number in which they bought. 252,652 people. So you take 252, whatever the number is, and distribute that throughout these so-called slave plantations and colonies where there are already American Aborigines there already, right? There's already Indians there too, right? They would double, triple that number. 1 million is 4 times that number right there. Another 250,000 would make 500,000, and then we break that up by 2. Times that by 1. That'll be like 1 million people right there. But look how
Wow.
many people that they bought. So if this number right here alone is telling you that they bought 2 to 5.5 million or enslaved. Now I don't even believe that because then you got the other story of Indians enslaved us, right? And then the Cherokees enslaved Africans, right? But then we could easily go to the Carter G. Woodson book and see how many Negroes owned enslaved in South Carolina. So get the fuck
You
out
turned
of
me
here.
on to that book, A1. I've been all in that book too, Jack.
Yeah, bro. There's no way you can go with this. None of it makes sense, and none of it is absolute. We got to do the process of elimination and trying to factor in what actually makes sense. What makes sense? Oh, it makes more sense in the story that they got, or the other stories that we run across throughout our research. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, come on, bro. I want to hear what OC said. We're gonna go back into it real quick.
And I mean, I could pull it up. I don't know if I can share. Can I share stuff? No.
Yes, you could. Go ahead.
All right, so let me pull it up real quick. I don't even know how to share it. I don't even know how to do that.
Yeah, just go to open it up. Open up which one to share. Click on it, and then go down, and you'll see it right down there where it says present.
And it has a screen that has a plus sign on it.
Hold on, I don't see it. It's
on StreamYard.
Okay. All right, so there we go. All right, so let me share screen window. It's not showing my for some reason it's not showing my ability to share. I see the Chrome tab, but what I have in preview can't show it. I showed before. But anyway, if I can share stuff, I need to be able to share it. But I'm trying to share this right now. And when I click on present, share screen, window, maybe I could just do it.
Click on in that window what you want to share, and then share.
It says it's okay. Let me tell you what it says. It says preview, but it's blank.
Do you want me to share it?
No, I don't want you to have control over my slide. You know what I do?
You know, right now you ain't got no slide.
Can somebody share what I'm showing?
I'm sharing it.
Picking like a little kid, man. That's what I don't like about it.
I'm doing that.
What is he sharing, Jabari?
I'm trying to share a book with the source that he just mentioned.
You talking about this, right?
Hold on, let me see.
It's a Negro.
All right, so hold up. Let me see that right there. Okay, that slide that I want to take. So now let me break this point down that Jabari just made. This is 1535 to 1537. These are leaders in Mexico, kings and leaders. So from 1519, you're going to tell me somebody went from a slave to being a king and then killing other people with the Spanish. Brother, that is absolutely ridiculous. That was the worst comeback you could have ever made on that point, because what you're trying to say, in less than 20 years, they went from coming there as slaves, took over Mexico City, and start killing people. Bro, that is absolutely retarded, bro, for you to even think that you could bring that particular point. That's like us going somewhere as slaves right now in Africa, right? We're going to take over the whole country, the politics, the languages, and start understanding that. And these were Negroes right here. So that point that you made was ridiculous. Now, Jabari, I haven't poked at you as much as you poked at me about these things that you're saying. I think that you're having a hard time with material you never saw in your life before. And not only did I show that slide from Codex Teller, I showed earlier things before slavery. This is a chain and lineage of people from Mexico from when the Spanish came to way before. So what your problem was that you were stuck in rhetoric and throwing jabs at me instead of answering each source one by one. For you to say that I didn't even stay on the debate topic, bro, everybody in here looking at you like you crazy, because you can disagree with me. That's one. You can say, well, I don't agree with this. But for you to say I had nothing that pertained to the subject, bruh, that is the worst cognitive dissonance. Like, I'm not going to say that about you. I disagree with a lot of things that you said.
Totally disrespectful.
And you did not discount a lot of what I said. But for you to say that what I showed had nothing to do with the topic, Jabari, my brother, you are older than me. I'm 48. We don't do, bro. We don't do that. Now you can disagree with me because there are things that kind of went like, bro, Jabari, bro. You know what, bro? Like you saying about me, like on some real, as a professional, I will lose respect for you if you say that one more time. Because you can say I disagree with you, Ali, on this point. Pull the slide back up and let's go in, and I'll go. I got
totally disrespectful.
shit to do today, nigga. I got shit to do today, nigga. Why are you my brother? I did not take a lot of pokes at you. I stayed on the information. You was taking pokes at it,
Yeah, he
nigga.
was throwing at you.
And
That's
not
what
addressing
happened. Jabari do shit like that.
Stuff, bro.
Tighten up, tighten up.
He said,
Wow.
All right, so I stopped it. So just real quick, let's get a roll call of how many. I mean, I know we all gonna vote for Ali Muhammad. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, see, I'm critiquing him differently because I know the level of research that I got. And I'm looking at what he presented, and to me, it was like, okay, you proved it to probably people who don't know as much or study as much as I have studied. But it's just like what I seen him present. It's like trying to persuade someone in that way. It's like it's still kind of like scattered around. Like, you know what I'm saying? You will have to like really go into. You will have to go into the identification of these tribes and then start breaking it down. Like he would have had to break down that Indian slave trade and see what he did. He went into South Carolina. He did go into South Carolina. So that then he went showed the Yamasees. You understand what I'm saying? Which is a good way. You know what I'm saying? I used that before. I used that play before, going to South Carolina and then showing you that the Yamasees was already there. And it's just so many different ways you can go. But who do y'all think won the debate? If you think Ali Muhammad won, press 1. If you think Jabari, naive, crying ass nigga, won, press 2. Who do y'all
What's
think?
good? What's good, A1 Grand Rising? Much
Peace to
love
God,
and
man.
respect
Peace
to
to
you
Man,
and
rising
the
up,
family
G.
always, brother Coco. What's good? Much respect to everybody in the chat, man. I think Ali won, but my biggest thing is that we have to challenge these universities, because by the universities, what Jabari is right. You see what I'm saying?
That's
By
what I'm
their
saying.
information.
That's
But
it. So look.
Go ahead, brother.
Did you see the origin of white supremacy?
Nah, I didn't, my brother.
Oh my God, you gotta see it.
There was a
brother.
bill.
I mean, I definitely I'll send you the link. Definitely put your
That shit
email
was
in the back and I'll
100
send
from
it to you.
beginning to end.
Just so you could see how you and listen, if the Rockefellers and the ARP and all these people was funding Negro colleges, right? To kind of get us on the track of the people that they are already programming, which is these regular colleges.
Exactly.
Regular colleges already programmed.
A1, that's why I said, like, I agree with Ali all day long, but it's up to us for us to challenge these universities, because by these universities, we slaves. You see what I'm saying?
That's a fact.
So, but I do agree with everything Ali put out and the information he put out. But my thing is, we got to go after people like Jabari, like y'all said. It was a CIA program that basically put us in Africa. So we got to challenge that program so we can shut niggas like Jabari and that other clown up, period. You got me, though? That's all I'm saying. I'm with y'all. Y'all already know that.
And that's the thing, right? So if you hear look, he's naive. See, the first thing I would have went in on, the fact that Jabari information is false to begin with. We'd have went on that first. I'd have exposed that first. And let
I'm with you there.
You let the people know that he keep on saying scholarly. Look, listen, a lot of people, when you pull up that general education conversation and then go further with it and shows you how they was funding all of these colleges. In fact, they write the goddamn books They write the textbooks. The textbooks come from their
That's
companies.
right.
Big facts.
That's right. And they are censored. It's an article that I can't put my finger on it. I think I got saved on my other iPhone. They had to go and send in their work before it got published to some United States bureau. And if
Bro,
I
it's
can
too
find
much
it, let me
stuff
look
going
for
on.
it.
Look, it's too much stuff going on. It's white slaves coming over here. Then you like, come on, I don't believe these people, my dude, because how you forget to tell us that, oh, by the way, we did bring over 300,000 so-called Europeans in 1618. But then we sit up here thinking about a 1619, they brought 19 and some odd Negroes over here. But they brought 300,000 a year before. So you forgot to tell us that? And you took them to the place in Virginia where you claim you took Africans at? I don't believe nothing. I don't believe nothing.
And you know that's my stance, A1. That's my
You,
stance.
you
They
understand
lied.
what
I
I'm
don't
saying
believe
from
none of
there?
them.
Like, nah, I don't believe, I don't, hold up. I don't believe it from that aspect because I'm taught the way I'm taught. Like I wasn't taught to be no investigator. I became an investigator using their tactics. So when I say I went to school, I'm letting you know that I know their methods. I know how they derive their information and what they use and how they use it. And I know, according to how I learned research, when you find something that doesn't fit into the puzzle, you research that. You find out why. But it's a part of the puzzle, but why doesn't it fit? Or does it fit in another timeline? Or is it just something that these people have just neglected not to let you know about? Because if you know about it, you're going to start thinking. See, thinking is the first process, being curious. Like when you find out, like let's say for example, right? Any stage of life you in, you find your girl cheating, you find out some niggas, you find out any information, right? And then you ask a person, tell you a story, then you hear another story from somebody else. That for some reason you be like, damn, that shit has to have some truth to it. You understand what I'm saying? It has to have some truth. So why this person didn't tell me this part of the story? Because they didn't want you to know. They didn't want you to know. That's why it was so imperative of them to get in and control your education and control your working or your employment confines, right? That's why it was imperative for them to do that. So then they could write in the books like they doing now and telling people who they are. And we're accepting it because we believe. We don't even question none of this shit. Motherfucker would sit there and tell you that they tie a horse to one leg and split a person in half, cut a woman's stomach open, do all of this horrific shit or whatever, and you will believe everything that they tell you. That's
And
Stockholm syndrome. Go ahead.
and A1, my bad, brother. And also, they don't tell us that the Arabs enslaved the Africans first. You know what I mean? Those were the first to enslave. Africans enslaved themselves, and the Arabs took advantage of that and enslaved the Africans. And they didn't bring them to America. They enslaved them over in the Middle East. And then they don't talk about the history of America. We never was taught the true history of America, of the people, what happened to the people in America. They try to say they brought them in from Africa and we Africans, but that's not the true history of America. The true history of America is the people been reclassified over and over and over again. They ain't Africans. But go ahead. That's all I wanted to say,
What
brother.
I what
The
I
Arab.
will what I would say is this: Arabs are new people. Arabs are hybrids. They are mixes of the Slavics and the Moors. So them people are hybrid people. But what happened was, like, see, listen, understand this, right? Anybody who's under any Orthodox religion is under Rome.
Yes, sir.
Islam was created by Rome. I know it's hard to believe, but that's the truth. Just like it's hard to believe that Pepsi or Coca-Cola own Pepsi.
And brother, I agree because, like I said, I was a Muslim for 20 plus years, and my research showed the same information. It connected all to them. So
They
I'm with
tell
you
you. But no,
110%.
they tell you the Pope controls Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. They created that shit after whatever
Yes, sir.
happened, and it's recent. It's not as old as what people think it is. You understand what I'm saying? So it's like
I
these
totally
people.
agree, brother.
So they just running plays on us, man. And they're using a lot of different names. And when you research this shit, you find out, wait a minute, these people was black. These people was supposed to be black people. But then you find out that everything had all roads leads to Rome, brother. That's why people keep on putting emphasis on this doctrine of discovery and what the Pope is saying. I don't give a fuck what the Pope is saying, but people keep putting emphasis on it or whatever, on what the Pope is saying or whatever, because all of that shit came from that. People forget you cannot talk about American history without knowing that the doctrine of discovery applied to these people, putting you in a situation that you are in now.
Big facts, brother.
So it didn't happen back then. It happened now. It happened now. It happened now. It happened with the KKK and the Knights of Golden Circle and the Knights of Templar. And you know, it's how I say the Knights of Templar they all was down with Rome. I don't care what story they're telling you. They was Roman agents.
Yeah, they
Now,
started
I
with
had the
Rome.
same conversation with Top Cat about, and he pulled up something about the Templar. I said, yeah, they was under Rome, but they was doing their own thing. Yeah, they was doing their own thing, but they had to report to Rome. When Rome said, get your ass over here, they had to get their ass over there. And all of them are nothing but agents. And they use Negroes. When they keep talking about these oh my dude, conquistadors, they ain't talking about Moriscos. They talking about Moriscos that was converted, that came over here playing, acting like they was cool and acting like they came back here without having an agenda of Rome. When we found out they had an agenda of Rome, as what Ali Muhammad shows you, we did away with them. Or if we didn't do away with them, we enslaved them for lifetime. So a lot of people don't truly because they haven't went that deep. Jabari is a surface level reader. I don't care if you got journally scholars. Anybody can pull up a journal scholar. Do you have any article that's going to push back to that article you got? I'm about to
And
let's
then
go. No, go ahead.
and
Go ahead.
then real quick, A1, I'm gonna be real quick. Then Jabari ain't questioning nothing. He just believing the information that he's getting told. He ain't questioning none of
That's what.
the information that he's getting from his people. Go
And
ahead,
what
bro.
does that make? What does that make a person? If a person sit there and just and don't first, you already know that these people ain't writing exact. And then what these niggas do is this, right? They rely on black scholars who was taught by white scholars. And they rely on them like these black people, you know, with the exception of Dr. Ben. Dr. Ben did go do his research. So he was able to say that the people in Kemet was black. Because that was, and I agree with him on that. But as far as you know, some of these other people, Chancellor Williams, I mean, they was great. They was great. They were great with research at that time. You understand what I'm saying? But the research and we didn't surpass their research. That's why Jabari is sitting up in there looking like a little kid and looking confused. He looked like a Poindexter type dude. He looked confused, brother. Look at him.
Ali was
Look.
very annoyed, and he pointed that shit out about Jabari's tactics, man. You know, I mean, that
He
was
think
just
it's a game.
disrespectful.
He think it's a game.
Yeah,
Son, that done
it's a
probably
game
done
to him.
made
No respect. No respect. He
10
don't think
grand
we
off
know
of
shit
this.
because we didn't go to the white man universities. We didn't get our information
But
from them or
I
come
went
to
to
our
the I went to the
conclusions.
white man. I went to the white man university, and the white man showed me how he do his research, and I was able to become a Tonsinist one. And I reference Europeans when they are telling the truth or when they have opposition, and the opposition way out stronger than the original narrative. So you know what I'm
Yeah, but
saying?
the
I was
Jabari just put you out, man. You know.
no, he's not he acts like he's not a sentient being, man. He's act like he has some type of microchip up his ass and shit to the point
Right.
to where this is the reaction to the microchip. But look, let's get a little bit back into this because this shit is comical. Peace to the gods.
Peace to the gods, bro.
So, bro, stop saying what I didn't do and tell me. Go ahead, I'm gonna stop saying what I didn't do and tell me to pull that shit up right now, and let's go over each slide with these calendars that's 41 octillion years talking about the story. Bro, I will blow you out of this motherfucking chat, bro. Like, bro, you can't do that to me. Well, I'm not mad you disagree with me. I'm mad that you are trying to say that what I was saying did not pertain to the topic, brother. You crazy.
Wait, Ali, no, you know I was there, right?
Same thing.
Sorry, y'all know I was there, right?
Yes.
Let me tell you something. Ali, I seen the way you was trying to set him up with the left hand in the first round. I kind of gave you the first round. The way you laid your thing out. Now, Jabari felt like, that you wasn't doing nothing. That's how he felt. I felt like you was setting the premise up real well. That's how I felt. But to him, he in there, he's saying, what the hell is you bringing? I seen what you was doing. I seen it. But I felt like that was a swing round.
Bro, that was cognitive dissonance. And I love my brother. He's still my brother. I ain't gonna take no jabs at him. I ain't gonna take no personal. I'm not gonna even call you a pseudo. But I will say,
hold off on the jabs, Jabari. Hold off.
He's still talking.
Respond, Jabari. Hold up on the jab, though. That's
okay.
Your
Let me say, I didn't jab at him more than he jabbed at me. So body slammed me on an arc. I mean, what he said? Oh, come on now. The reason why he's hot is because when we started, we looked. Who are you here for? There were many more people in the room that were here to see Ali. At the end, who won? Many more people said Jabari won. So even some of your people said, what did you do, Chief? That's what that means. And we know that that's what happened. So you could be heated if you want. The reality is, I didn't say you didn't say anything in the entire debate that was part of the topic. I said the entire first round was a wash. You didn't. We are talking about whether African people, whether the black folks in the United States and the Americas are indigenous to the Americas or are African. Folks, when you look at when Sanetta finally lets y'all cheapos see this on YouTube, cheapos, right? When y'all finally see it on YouTube, you're going to see the whole first round, he didn't talk about the topic. The whole first round. And then I played his own words. He said several times, and very clearly 2 weeks ago that we did not come from Africa. And then the other half of the debate, he's arguing we did come from Africa. Which is it? The reality is that he did a lot of things that did not fit together. He took jigsaw puzzles from different boxes and is upset that when he put them on the table, they didn't fit. That's what happened. And the reality is on this source, he said, why should there be people of African descent on this codex? First of all, the first thing he would have to do if he's going to do something scholarly. Now, you have to listen to this and tell me if I'm here, right? He just looked at the word Negros. Right. He didn't translate it. Then he tells us that they're all kings. And then he says, why should there be people who are called Negros on here when it's from 1535 to 1537? And it seems very clear that he's not that this is the case. He did not realize that Africans had already been brought to Mexico starting in 1518, so that there would be Africans there. So it's clear. And then he bumbled it and said, well, they became.
That's when he should have argued the fucking Boma Park mural, showing you that it was black people there before the Africans that you claim came there. You see how this shit works? The Mendoza codexes, the Boma Park murals. You could have showed the Inca tablets that showed that it was Negroes there right now. Well, don't let him get off and say that they brought no goddamn Africans there at any point in time. You understand what y'all still on the
Mm-hmm.
you understand what I'm
Yeah, we
saying?
understand what you said.
Like
Yeah,
he
Yeah,
already
exactly.
check
done
it.
I'm with
showed he already listen, he already showed the Bowman Park murals. So it's like at that point in time, see, and it's so many it's so much other research to go along with that. There's literature that supports that multiple people are writing about. Plus other information that goes along with it. He could have went right to the Mexican Museum and showed you what they said the motherfucking Aborigines looked like. It's just so much stuff, man. It's like you don't let him get off by saying they showed they brought some Africans there in there in 1513. It was already Negroes there. So it's like these are the tactics that you have to establish the fact that it was already Negroes there. So when you tell me that they bringing some Africans here, that shit gets canceled. That the fact that it was already Negroes there, I don't even need to hear that source because I already know it was Negroes there, and I know it was Negroes there according to what they show Montezuma looking like. So it's like, come on, man. Like, I mean, what kind of conversation we having? This shit right here is dumbed down, and it's like, this nigga like Ali Muhammad just said. He get uncomfortable when he see research that he never heard of. He ain't trying to take it in perspective to say, well, damn, maybe it might be black people. He's 100, no, he's 200% Africa. Everything is Africa. He's not trying to hear nothing else. So
exactly, because that's the narrative that he was taught, and he ain't gonna go away from it. We know he ain't going away from it.
No, not. He ain't got nowhere. He didn't put too much in. So he done invested too much into the whole African conversation. And a lot of these niggas have. They invested too much into this conversation to where now we're challenging the conversation with the fact that we was already here. And even by him showing that Yamasi source. My family Yamasi. My father family Yamasi and Timacoa. So it's like, okay, well, he's showing you it was already Negroes. And then he could have even showed another article where it's lying, saying that the Yamasian African slaves went into Florida. Why would the Yamasian African slaves go into Florida when they telling you they trying to enslave the Yamasis, which they say are Negroes? See, they create all these stories. And
all that stuff is not possible.
You understand what I'm saying? Let's sit here and think, Kusa. Okay, the Yamasis Negroes, all right. They resemble what we call Africans, right? And then you're saying that African slaves and the Yamasi hooked up because where some point in time in history they know that we're gonna find out that the Yamasis was already Negroes. So they gotta throw these decoys and all of this shit right here ain't nothing but decoys. And these are stalling tactics, bro.
Right.
They're stalling tactics. They hope enough of us kill each other. And enough of their poisons and all this shit kill each other. I mean, kill us before we find out the fucking truth.
Exactly.
And A1, real quick,
ahead,
brother.
you good, go ahead.
One thing, why no one else besides us is claiming African as their heritage? That's my biggest question. Why nobody else? You feel me?
Yeah.
They just trying to put it on us, but no other nationality or country is claiming Africa.
Bro,
you like Haiti and the Dominican.
But all life was supposed to start in Africa.
But look, they think of it like this though. We can start all the way from Hawaii. The original people of Hawaii was Negroes, and going from Hawaii all the way into south the Pacific Isles, all in there from Fiji, all of that shit to Tibet, all of them was Negroes. All of them was Negroes. And ain't none of these people got none of these ridiculous stories about they came from Africa. Because you know why? Because they didn't come in contact with the eugenics, even though that they did come in contact. But the eugenics operation was more of a Red Cross type of movement when they went into them areas. It wasn't just the education year. They hit them with the education later, but they mainly want these people to convert to Christianity. You see what I'm saying? And it's helping you. Oh, this is our God right here, Jesus, and this is the doctrine of discovery. But it ain't the doctrine of discovery with the eugenics push that these people came from Africa, and all black people that's around the planet, no matter where they at, no matter even if they haven't even found these people, like the Senegalese people, right? They never even seen these. They seen them. The one dude who did try to go over there and try to show them that Bible under the doctrine of discovery, they hit that nigga up with 1,000 arrows, man.
That's all did.
Soon the nigga seen that Bible. Oh no, nigga said, like, yo, you see this shit? Oh, we know about the doctrine of discovery. Get him. Hit that nigga up.
Last picture they had of that motherfucker, he was smiling, had one of those freaking George Epstein, not Epstein, but Osteen smile on his fucking face before that arrow hit his ass in the chest.
Bro, he was thinking about how many people he gonna convert. They gonna take over this island and do what the fuck they been doing everywhere else. But they went to show you that these niggas ain't having it. These niggas hit that nigga with 1,000 arrows. Yeah.
I admire shit like that.
I mean, hey, as you should.
Because I admire shit like that. Kill them right on the motherfucking on the point. Cause they ain't up to no goddamn good.
Once you let them say one thing to you, brother, they gonna get you. They gonna use the art of persuasion. They take all of these different CIA mind controlling courses to where if they get an opportunity to get you, your ass is grass.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Your ass
you
is
can't
grass.
change thousands of years, hundred thousands of years of habitation. And they just started this shit in the 1900s, the 20th century, of trying to change all this hundreds of thousands of years of habitation on this earth. That's why people are full of anxieties. That's why people killing each other, because these goddamn Christians trying to change everybody from their DNA and the way they know to walk upon this earth. Now Christians want to change all that. You can't do that. People are set in their ways, been doing this shit for 100,000 years. Why, you can't change that, man. Leave the shit alone. Leave it alone. People survive. They might not have a hot tub. You know, they had their own way of getting hot water. They had their own ways of getting shade. They was comfortable with that shit.
But these people are parasites, my dude. They say what the fuck is that? Like the fucking venom suit. They are symbiote. They need a host to live off of because
like
they
a
don't
demon.
have. They're like a demon. They parasites. They symbiotes. They need a host to live off of. That's why they always going somewhere trying to hook up with some people who don't really want to fuck with them. You see what I'm saying? You know, real talk, right. Man. Listen, brother. Man, look, real fucking talk, bro. Definitely. Let's play a little bit more of this shit. Shaq, you had something you wanted to
real quick, A1. I was gonna say they're trying to basically make the Bible where it's real, like it really happened. That's what I see they trying to do, from my insight. But go ahead, brother.
You know what? But you know what the worst thing of it is when it comes to that Philly OG, the fact that it's a white man that they telling you gotta kneel to. That's the worst thing. That's the you know, if it was a black Jesus, you know, someone's blah. We might could look a little bit more into it, understand some of the scriptures a little bit more. But it's the fact that they want you to bow down to some white dude which they just created probably the last 100 fucking years, bro.
Right.
Can't believe nothing they're saying. Nothing. 1,000 years ago. Prove it. Prove it. Prove it, you lying motherfucker. No,
man, there's nothing left here by that fucking hippie to say he was walking on water. He was healing the sick. Nothing. What ain't nothing left here. You got to have something left behind.
The corporation, the universities, they're all trying to push that story to be real so they can keep their dominance over us.
They understand this, right? White people wasn't in no power beyond 200 years ago.
Right.
They wasn't in no power. All of these stories is face on, face off. Take your face off of that the original and then put their face on it so you'll believe that it all line up to them putting you in slavery. Because you find out that they was in slavery at the time that they saying that they was putting you in slavery, the story will fall the fuck apart. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They can't tell you that they was being enslaved the same time you was being enslaved. They make you think the Slavs was
Exactly,
enslaved.
A1. That you on point. My bad.
No. We building.
Yeah,
We
I feel you.
building.
Like that's an excellent point you
Yeah.
made. I'm muting up, bro.
That's gonna destroy their whole fucking point of view.
Yeah, they don't want to tell you that they were enslaved the time, like you just said, brother. That's facts.
Because they have to line you up. So the Romans went in here, but then they telling you when the Romans was existed that the Moors went in there and took over. But see, they don't even tell you that the Moors went into Rome. They lie about that. They just tell you, oh, they just went into Spain and Portugal and forget out. But they never went nowhere. They was always there. You have to question, where did white people come from? That's what you have to question. You don't question, because think of it like this, right? If Moors went into Europe and took over Europe, that means they was running white people for 700 years.
Right, exactly. They should have covered the world.
But so I don't even believe that, because that don't even make my spider sense going to tell me now them people was already there, and we need to question where the fuck these white people came from. You see what I'm saying? Take them out.
I've been doing research about with other, European pale scholars and looking at their videos and professors and archaeologists and anthropologists, and they know that the way history say that the Indians, the Native Americans, the Mongolians came in and killed everybody on this land. Them motherfuckers cracking up because they know that it's a false narrative that the people that was already here before the Native American was not killed off by them Native Americans. They know that. These people know the truth, man.
Story. Listen, man, these people got 25 different plays that they running on us, man. They running that you were slaves. Then Indian was slaves. Then when you find out that there's other plays that they not even telling you. You understand what I'm saying? They're not telling us these plays that we researching, that we finding. That Jabari finding, he's saying that these are asinine claims or that sound preposterous. No, it's fucking proof and reality. You have to sit here and say, wait a minute, bro. They're not telling you the Indian slavery. Then they ain't tell you they bought 300,000 slaves or white slaves over here. Then they're not telling you that in some line of event, they telling you that the Civil War was to free white people. And then we see all this shit. Go ahead.
Now I was gonna say A1, and they ain't telling you that white people are the original Africans.
That too.
They
see what I'm
did
saying?
Flip on us. Go ahead, brother.
There's so many different plays to where we fumbling. We fumbling because we can't understand it. We can't grasp about what the truth and what's not the truth. Now
they burnt our books, the records that we did have.
Exactly. So if they burnt the books, what books are we reading from?
Their shit.
Exactly.
Their shit. Yeah.
Their shit.
That's it, brother.
And we finding that they shit is full of lies. Okay.
That's when and listen, brother. That's what I be trying to tell people when I'm talking about the Moorish history, brother.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't understand, and I be giving it to you better than anybody else gonna give it to you. Because I done studied this shit. I done took my personal time to invest into this so-called topic. And I had to come up when I started studying etymology and looking at how the word structures is, that was it. That was it. Once I seen how the words, I'm like, nah, that's the same fucking word. It ain't no different word. It's the same word. Now, you may think it's different because you see an A in front of an M, but it's the same goddamn thing. So it's like, even with all of this shit, man, it's a lot, man. We got some other brothers on the panel, man. What's up? What's up, fellas? I know Shaq been on. Shaq been on for a minute. Shaq, what up?
Good eve. Good eve.
Oh, Shaq must got his mic muted though. Truthful Troll, what's up, bro?
What's good, Joe? I only chimed in because, you know what I'm saying, when the brother said that white people come from Africa, that is true, like 90%. You know what I'm saying? Like and when I say that, we got to put something in the context right quick. I don't know where they come from originally, but I know that we had our own slaves over here, and some of those brothers was white. But like I said last time, and my phone died last time I was on live with you, Ahanu Artachinas, you know what I'm saying? But what I was saying was when most people think slavery, they think what we was taught in the educational system. So when they hear our people didn't have that type of cruelty in us, we wasn't just beating old people with whips. You know what I'm saying? Like that ain't the nature
That's
of our
true.
people. You know what I'm saying? That's not our nature. We don't have the hearts to do that. Now you gotta do something real. We'll just kill a dude if we gotta do all of that. And you gotta really violate, like be on some savage rape type shit
All right.
or something like that. It ain't in our nature to
Good
do
point,
that.
brother.
But
But it was
yeah,
in their nature. It was in their nature
In there.
to flip on us because they knew that they couldn't own nothing. See,
yeah.
your whole reality. Listen. The Civil War was the slaves fighting to get their status changed from being slaves, brother. That's what the
Well,
Civil War was about.
I'm gonna add to what you just said. Now, hey, one, remember when you did? I call it a lesson plan. Like I said, y'all professors. You know what I'm saying? And like I don't mind the profanity or how we handle things because that's the nature of our people. So when y'all talking to our people. You know what I'm saying? So I don't care if y'all talk a certain way because we talking to our own nature. If y'all understand what I'm saying, like we dealing with us, so we don't gotta act like one brother told me to further my business because I work for myself. I got my own company, but one brother was like, "Yo, to further your business, you're not clean cut. You need to cut your locks off." And he like 45, but this other brother who's like 65, he said, "Man, we ain't doing that no more. Our people done did that enough, man. You gonna keep your goddamn locks. You ain't cutting off nothing, man. You do good work. You know what I'm saying? You remodel these homes, you ain't cutting off a damn thing. If
Hey,
you
Nah,
hey,
cut
running
your
brother.
right
locks,
here.
Hey, not to cut that brother off, but that's an excellent point that he made. They had something in Congress about 10 years back of nappy hair shit,
Oh
wanting
yeah,
us to
yeah,
cut
Yeah,
yeah.
they
off our hair.
did. Cut that
So
little girl's
don't
locks off.
cut,
Yeah.
you right, don't cut that shit off. That's
y'all remember
that's
the
the,
boy who was
hold on real
wrestling?
quick. That's
It
the
was
new way
Yeah.
wrestling,
of
right.
discriminating that they discriminated against us.
Oh yeah, the
Right.
Go
boy
ahead,
that
y'all
was
got it.
wrestling. He right. The boy that was wrestling too. Yeah.
Now the reason that they do that is because it goes into a scientific fact, right? And the scientific fact is that I'm only like 20% on this what I've been studying. But the coils in our hair is actually not hair, it's antennas.
That's a
You know what
fact.
I'm saying?
It's an extension of your nervous system.
Yeah,
Right.
this is why any one of you brothers in the chat, as a child, y'all ever been sweeping your house with a broom and then like washing clothes at the same time and take a shirt or something out the dryer and then you feel this like
That's
electrical shock
static.
when you
That's
touch it?
static.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
static.
that's
Yeah.
because your hair is actually antennas. Now, most likely that only happens when you actually have like a small fro or if you ain't got your hair cut in like 2 weeks. You know what I'm saying? Or if you got
Also,
a beard or something.
the hair for men and women, for women it sends off pheromones. So a lot of times through these perms, it blocks the pores to send off the pheromones are natural love signals that a woman sends to a man. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? You could like it's something that only we can smell. But with the fact that a lot of people don't got their real hair, right? And their hair is tied down, right?
yeah.
So you don't get that effect like that. And that's another way of how they interact. They kind of like fucked up our system dealing with love and everything. You know what I'm
And
saying?
can I say this real quick? From my research, the hair is also it's a deterrent. It's a deterrent. Basically, it protects your body from impurities getting into it.
That too, yeah. The hair has but like he said, the hair is definitely an extension of your nervous system, man,
Right.
and it
It's an
definitely
Yes, sir.
sends,
antenna.
I agree with that.
and it sends
Yeah,
Well, you
off the.
think
That's how you able to sense like love, man. When we had the afros and the women had the
mm-hmm.
afros, man, it was going down. Now, because I ain't no offense to nobody, you know what I'm saying, who may wear a weave or a wig or whatever. No, I'm saying that truthfully. I ain't trying to be funny because everybody got their different situations, man. Motherfucker might not feel like getting up in the morning fixing their shit up. You know, this is what a lot of women tell me. But go ahead.
Do the niggas hair still getting nappy? Got them BBs? And that shit kind of perm now, ain't it?
Yo, but I'm gonna tell you something about brothers with BBs. That's the strongest, that's the most powerful our hair could be. When you think about it, the more coil you have to your hair, the more powerful it is. So you want your child to have the BBs. You not trying to comb his shit. Like dude, combing your hair ain't natural.
Dude.
Combing your hair is
Man, that shit used
appealing.
to hurt like a motherfucker, dog.
Yeah, man, my middle brother was tender-headed. Yo, he'll cry if you barely touch his hair with a comb back in the day. You know what I'm saying?
Africans got BBs.
Nigga, that shit hurt, nigga. Anytime motherfucking picking your hair and your hair pulling with the pick, that shit hurt. Nigga like, man. Hey, look, let's get a little bit back in. Look. Hey, look, we're gonna get back in a little bit into this video right here because as they going on, we're gonna break this shit down, though. But peace to the guys, man. Definitely,
Peace,
man.
brother. Peace, brother. How y'all doing?
Halito, my brother.
A1, did anyone address why that was covering strategically certain slides, certain maps with that poll crap and the bullshit that moderator was pulling?
Yo, brother, not to cut you off. I just heard these brothers say something I never heard before. So I need to get educated real quick. What's Halito?
Halito mean high in Choctaw, but Cherokee will be oh my god, it start with a C. But Halito means high. It's a peace greeting.
All right, word. I appreciate that. Word. Yeah.
Brother A1.
Yes, sir.
Hey, before you play the video, I wanted to ask you a question, brother. Because I've been trying to dig up some stuff, you know what I mean, about the white slaves and the whole nine, right? You got any evidence or any like ship manifests that we can use, man, so that we can refute these fools talking about
you talking about source? Like, yeah, I mean, I got plenty of sources, but it's like if you want to do I don't really be getting all into the genealogy because sometimes that shit takes too much time. Right, like you could trace down, you could do ship records. I got ship records on my computer, but that shit, like for me, I don't even need to connect it like that. Just the fact that slaves is being bought here, and just the fact that Negroes was owning slaves is something that anyone, and they're not telling you about it.
I'm saying,
I'm gonna add to that.
Hey, real quick, the other point is that Great Britain was sending their. We got records that Great Britain was sending their unwanted over to America also. Go ahead, y'all got it.
Yeah, I do got that.
Right.
I do got the bondage documents of the 50,000 that was sent over here because they was in prison. But I'm talking about, like the other people.
Yeah,
and I want to add to that, yo. I want to add to what both of you brothers just said, because a lot of people don't understand when you speak on Great Britain, a lot of people don't understand that there was a time that we was kings and rulers. We ruled.
And that time wasn't. Hey, listen, hold.
Go ahead, because they want to know where I'm getting at with this.
That time, understand this, brother. That time wasn't that long ago, bro.
Yeah,
wasn't that fucking long.
Yeah,
these niggas just created, like, even Queen Elizabeth. Her family is the first Germanic Germans. They're not even Germans. They Slavics.
A1. 10 years ago, a little black girl in England, she was just doing a school project, right? She was doing this, and anybody in the chat can look this up. This public information. The girl was doing a school project, and so everybody got to do their own project. Y'all know how like we do projects on the presidents or Martin Luther King and all that there. So she decided to do one on the rulers of England. So what she came up was that she did the genealogy of the rulers of England, and she went back to a black family, and she actually traced that black family to a little black girl that was adopted, who is still in England today, and literally said that girl's family is supposed to be the rulers of England today.
You know what the play is? The play is just like they did here, right? So one mulatto from an Aboriginal, right? He went on and his whole family became Indians because he's 36 or he's 1/36 Indian or whatever. So that means out of every 36, one of them was an Indian, right? According to when you. So that's the same play that they ran here.
And that's what I was about to say. I appreciate that because you just reminded me what I was about to say to the brother who just asked the question about 3 minutes ago. If you ever want to prove anything to anybody, this is the easiest way to do it. And I've been doing this for the last couple months. The U.S. Census is proof of everything that A1 be talking about. The U.S. Census is proof of everything because of the classification. The U.S. Census started in, I think, 1780, or they say they founded America.
1790, yeah, around 1790.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But when you look at
remember that too, right? There's two different types. There's a type that was revised where it got black and white on it, where you know that's bullshit, right? And then it's the original one that you can get from the congressional records that actually has employment. It don't
that's
have
the one I'm talking about.
It has no race. It has no motherfucking and then and you know what you do see? You see free white person. Now, some people say free white person, we was white first. I get all of that. But in the contents of we are enumerating them. They're the ones
but see, when they say whenever you see a black freedman in this country, you got two different kinds of black freedmen. You got the brothers that was from other planes who came over here working for certain brothers, but then a lot of us brothers, we wound up getting ourselves in contracts. You know what I'm saying? So when you under contract, you under that contract, but when your contract is up, you free from that contract. You know what I'm saying? And so when you see freedmen, whenever you see the term freedman on a brother that actually has time, like if you, for example, I saw A1 last week. I saw A1 a screenshot of my family having a family reunion like last month in Louisiana. Man, Homer, Louisiana got parishes, not counties. We got parishes by the order of Rome. Because when they changed the name to everything. If you go back to the 15 and 1400s, you'll see that Louisiana was Rome, not the area that they call Rome today. They changed everything. You know what I'm saying? They took all our prominent blacks from back in the day, and they changed them to like they changed their likeness and all of that. They didn't just do it to Jesus, nigga. Like most people be like, oh, they changed Jesus from a black to a white man. Nah, nigga, it wasn't just that, brother. They did that to a lot of brothers. They turned Samson to Hercules. You know what I'm saying? You get Beowulf.
It's even people of nowadays, brother, that they did in the 1900s with the people who they killed off on the Titanic. And these people took their names. They took their names.
I just found out that most of the prominent people on the Titanic was actually blacks. Nigga, I didn't know this. They killed all black millionaires with that shit.
Where did the Titanic leave from, Ali Bamu?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So, brother, real quick.
I
want to A1 to go in because I only learned this shit when they did the submarine shit. You know what I'm saying? That's how I found out. I only known about brothers being on the Titanic about 2 weeks now.
It left from New York. So it would have had J.P. Morgan Chase on there and some of these other individuals, and they took Jacob Astor and all this other shit, bro. And they lie about all this shit. But look,
and every time you brothers say New York, I'm gonna keep saying Oyster Island, because New York real name is Oyster Island or Old Amsterdam. That's why if you ever buy a bottle of New Amsterdam.
Well, you say New York. New York is Manhattan.
Okay.
Manhattan. That's the real name of it.
Yeah.
And each of the 5 islands has different names. Manhattan is New York City. When you go out on Long Island, that's Montauk. When you go out to Staten Island area, that's Shinnecock. And you know what I'm saying? So a lot, but they were still the same.
A1 cooking,
They just got different names. They just got different names. But these are not primitive people. And see, if I was out, hold up, real quick. I'm gonna let you go in. Then I'm gonna play the video because I don't want to go back and forth because we know it's going to be some other content to where we're going to have to stop and we're going to have to address it, right? So
Yeah.
even when you get into New York, they lying about everything. All that shit they lying about. Nobody
Cause
sold
how
no
could the
island.
oldest civilization be primitive, man?
Yes. Go ahead, my brother. What you want to add to the bill,
Yeah,
bro?
real quick because I just ran across something, just trying to do my due diligence, right? Like you say, do your due diligence. And did you know that they got ship manifests of these Europeans, coming from England to the Americas, about millions of them, and they all labeled as pilgrims. Did you know that?
And that's coming. They not coming over here freely. They coming over here as slaves, as servants.
Nah, they called them pilgrims, They didn't call them slaves.
But yo,
They
check
don't
it though.
have to
Check it
call them
though.
slaves. They don't have to call them slaves. They
Check it
automatically
though.
are slaves.
They came over here with hat in hand, right? And they put on that front like they just needed some help to get their situation under control. So us being civilized people, we greet them like, yo, how you doing? You know what I'm saying? No different than our nature. We not racist as people. If somebody hurting, we gonna help out. You know what I'm saying? So when we did that, we helped those brothers get free from the situation that they was in, and they turned around and bit us in the ass. You see what I'm saying? They didn't honor what they were supposed to honor, because if we own everything,
they can't honor nothing, brother. Listen, they ain't had no. How somebody gonna come in your house and tell you what you gonna be doing? That shit happened later on. That shit happened after they was freed after 1865. So a
yeah.
lot of the shit that they teaching us, a lot of stuff that they telling you, it didn't happen till later on, and they going back in history
from 1600s though.
Bro,
Man, I can go back till the early 2000s.
I can show you in the 1680 that they brought slaves over here to Virginia. You understand what I'm saying? These people were slaves. These people ain't
And
come
the
over
first
here.
amount, you still got the sign in Virginia today. The first amount was 26 or 27 or some shit like that. It wasn't even that many Africans, and it was white boys. But when you see African, we train to think that's us, right?
A Slav, listen, a Slav is every European ethnicity on the planet, nigga. Or even the ones with dark hair who have our ancestry in them, right? All Europeans, or what you think of Europeans, or what you think white people are Slavics.
Well, they call our
All of
name,
them.
Did you know that?
No.
You know they have their first and last name on there on the ship record, and they ain't got no Slav or nothing like that.
So what names what kind of names they got?
Yeah. So they got their names on here as John Black, William Black, James Blackburn. That's in the A. They got it in alphabetical order. In the B's, that's how they got it. In the A's, just to name a few: Daniel Abbott, Joe and Mary Abbott, Richard Abbott, Edward Abbs, Joe Abbott.
And where are they coming from again?
They're coming from many European nations. They come from Europe, bro. They're coming from
where? What part in Europe? What part in Europe, though? What part?
All right, so some are coming from England, Plymouth.
Okay, let's keep it in England.
All right, London.
Okay.
Charles, England.
Okay.
Gravesend, England.
And it's telling you, and what is their ethnicity again?
Yeah, they're Europeans, yo. They got
that. So you do know at that point in time, Europeans was niggas, right?
Well, you go to ancestry.com, they're white people.
Of course.
Well, that's what
of course.
Now y'all getting into the point that I was about to make earlier.
We getting somewhere.
Now y'all getting to the point that I was about to make earlier. I gonna handle your business, brother.
Look. The way we gonna do this over here, y'all, whoever want to address that, go ahead and address that. But we got to get back to the video because it's a lot of content that we gonna have to break down.
And you young brothers need to just calm a bit. Chill yourself. Not just that A1 is trying to show this video. We understand it's exciting when you come into your awareness. In this community, there's a lot of veterans over here. So when you keep asking us, do we know, the reason we don't respond to you is that's old news. Okay, what we're saying to you is, regardless of your coming into this knowledge currently, you are still amongst a minority numerically. I would argue it's less than 5%. Even if I would be conservative, be fair, that's 10%. That means 9 out of 10 people will be very dangerous to you if you're not careful on how you handle your communications and you share this information, even amongst your own immediate family members. Now, A1, in answering your question, because there's a documentary that's out right now on YouTube, this John Jacob Astor. This Astor family, they are trying to prove to you are white with these white descendants. So could you please share that with these young brothers about the whitewashing that we don't seem to be clearly understanding, and even these European names they want to try to tell you is your slave masters, they originated in the Americas. Go ahead, bro.
Yeah, I'm about to get it back into the video. I'm just going to say this, and I'm going to get back into the video. In the 1600s, who you think is Europeans is white people. I mean, black people. Now, a lot of them are fleeing persecution of Christianity, right? A lot of them, right? But there are some
And
exceptions.
that's why they call them pilgrims. Go ahead.
Yeah. And that's an exception to the rule, right? But understand this, right? The Europeans that came in were Slavics. They were Slavic. They weren't even calling them Europeans at that point in time because they weren't no citizens of nowhere. They're not indigenous nowhere. That's why when they came here, they're not indigenous. But what happened is that, let's get into the video. We can get back to that, man. Peace to gods, peace to gods.
Peace. Kings, first of all, the folks that are dead look different than the folks that are in the chair. I'm just doing the same leadership he is.
All right, yo.
And
Reggie, see Reggie comment. See Reggie comment.
I mean, come on. If Reggie says this, that means I won. Y'all know that. If Reggie says it's a tie, that means I won.
I know why Reggie's mad at me.
Reggie spent a month at Mayweather
Aerospace right now, but Crawford knocked his ass out last year. Well, your head is a knot right now, bro.
The debate.
Like, bro, I lumped you up, bro. Hey, everybody on this panel know I lumped you up today, bro.
Bad, bro. All right, hold on. I want to get the my man right here. The, how you pronounce your name, brother? K apostrophe N.
Kian.
Kian.
Yeah, you can go. You say Ken. Ken works.
All right, Ken. What do you think about the debate, man? What do you think?
So I do have a question for Chief Ali and Brother Jabbar.
Tell us.
But my perspective. Sure. Yeah, my perspective is Ali washed Jabari, and I think he especially did it in the first round because he established that you had a Black Aboriginal American Black people presence that was, like a nation established, well established, well before there was any slave trades, shipping, people being brought like at huge numbers, mass numbers, where these people were all over the country. So on top of that, and the fact that when you had the Q&A, Ali answered masterfully every question, and Jabari couldn't answer none. You know what I mean? Like he didn't he tried, respect, you know what I mean? But he didn't really answer no questions. Like admittedly, he said he did. And then he shifted it to I think you can't trust anything Ali said. Whatever, but everybody knew what that was. You know what I mean? But I respected it. Was a great debate. I love how this was like how the setup was. You know what I mean? Like compared to how it used to be. Even this is like the modern day
professional, right?
Yeah, very much so. I dig that a lot. You know what I mean? But to my question, okay, I'll start with Jabari first. Question to Jabari. So when you have the statement that the Inca stones were fake, right? Did you also pick up on the fact that Ali mentioned that there were Spanish explorers that talked about it and discussed it, and well before the person that you said faked it in like kind of recent times. Do you acknowledge that perspective and the fact that those duplicates? I didn't know that part, that those duplicates were made for like tourism. I didn't know that part. I was aware just based on the being in the university studies. But were you aware? Did you pick up on that? Because your point was the gentleman who proved that it was fake or something like that. But you have explorers that was well before that talked about the Inca stones. What was your perspective of that?
It sounds to me like you're really trying to fix something that your boy did wrong. The reality is, he said that there were copies used for commerce and all this other stuff. That's not what the sources say. That's not what the sources say. This is from Atlas Obscura, and it very clearly says, why would he use this? Look at this. The first stones turned up from the property of a local farmer, Basio Ushia, right? Who brought them to the attention of the good doctor. But then let's go down here. But following a BBC special critical of the stones in 1973, Ushia admitted to carving the stones in himself and artificially aging them in order to pass them off as ancient artifacts. The reality is, you are trying to say something that the sources don't. Do some research on the stones. It has been a long time. We're talking, listen, 50 years since people have acknowledged that this is a hoax. And for you to also say that you thought that he supported that there were lots of people here in the beginning that were Black and indigenous. I don't know what you were watching. I even explained that much of what he did show what European explorers said. And he showed pictures and said, these are Black people. Because they're dark? Really? So everyone dark is Black. Is that what he's saying? Yes. And then also, he said very confidently that when you look at the Jesuit, by the way, it's Jesuit letters, if you can't pronounce something, you're not that familiar with it. That's what I'm trying to say. What do you mean?
I can't say if someone doesn't enunciate something they don't have the knowledge of. Enunciated like the way someone else enunciates.
You're not.
Is everyone who uses a reference Ethiopian saying that everyone is Ethiopian, or they appear in appearances to look like what would be called Ethiopians? And why did they use the word Ethiopian at that time?
Because it was a description. Ethiopian just means dark, burnt people. So it's like it's a description thing. So that's why he used it. And that's why a lot of these people is using these descriptions to give you a descriptive understanding of what the people look like here. Now, this thing would say, now you got some people who are actually archaeologists, right? Who's saying that the Inca stones is real. Some of them are real. And see, that's what Ali Muhammad should have had up there. The ones, the same people with the credentials who are archaeologists. Jabari not an archaeologist. The person who's refuting the information is an archaeologist. So now you have to find an actual archaeologist to say that
and that means we have to have competing white scholars, right? Because of course the white man's ice is colder. And if you don't have someone considered to be a supposed European certified scholar from these same institutions that are confiscating and suppressing the information, doesn't the British Museum, the Louvre, the Vatican have tremendous vaults of shit that's still not being revealed to the public? Isn't the Mormon Church sitting on something that's called Iron Mountain and a fucking vault of over billions
Alabama, that's the
and we
point
still
I
have
made
no
earlier,
idea
brother.
what the hell they have accumulated? Go ahead, big
and
dog.
also, you know, the point that Alabama made is an excellent point. And also that nobody ain't saying their origin. It's only our origin. Nobody ain't talking about their origin. Go ahead, y'all got it.
Why is it just got to be us? Why everything has to pinpoint at us?
Do you know the fact that you're asking the question is the agenda of eugenics, correct? I know you're I know you're very insightful, Kusa, and you're reflexive. But isn't the fact that the question is raised, what's behind the question? Targeting niggas.
It's sad to say. It's sad to say.
Yeah, that's a fact. So let's get back into it.
Have any of you analyzed the Inca stones?
Because if you had done a lot of research, you would understand. Anyway, he said that the Jesuit letters describe people.
You see the silence of the simple question he
they don't
asked.
say that.
Have you analyzed
He
the studies
also
of
said
stone?
that
Which proves they don't do the actual
brother,
research.
I showed it to the audience.
Didn't hear you, Alabama.
Now,
He showed the receipts of the people in there, in like word by word in those letters.
Ali crazy.
It's not your turn to talk right now, brother. It isn't.
Apologies, my bad.
He also talks about Giovanni Verrazzano, and even on his screen, it says Giovanni said that they are dark, not unlike Ethiopian. But then 2 lines down, he says their features are like the Oriental. 2 lines. He didn't read that. It was on the screen.
Let me see that again. Let me see that again, Jabari. I don't believe you.
Show it to you.
I'll
throw it to you.
A1, pause it there for a moment. Because Oriental is a similar phrase that can be used to describe as Ethiopian. This isn't Oriental until they created those classifications of pseudoscience. Wasn't it a Negroid reference or a dark complexion person when you refer to someone from being Oriental? See, he does this specious thing of manipulating people's contemporary understanding of things without putting the effective context of what was going on with people who were encountering us, who knew we were here, by the way, while lying about it, saying that they were discovering the New World.
Well, they ain't discovering nothing. That's what they put. Listen, that's what they put in New Texas. They didn't come here and discover nothing. The Romans or the people who follow the so-called people who came back over here, they knew what they was doing. They was following out the doctrine of discovery. Go through lands and enslave the pagans and the Saracens and put them under perpetual servitude and convert them to Catholicism or Christianity. That's the plan. It ain't. Oh, this the new world.
And today it would be called eugenics, right, my good brother?
Exactly. That's the first. That's the first introduction into eugenics. Well, yes and no.
I think we're messing eugenics up.
You say what?
I think we're messing eugenics up based on what's being said.
Why you say that?
Because the origins of eugenics comes after all this other stuff, right?
But the beginning of it come from the doctrine of discovery. That's the shit that put all of this shit.
And also Darwinism.
Eugenics wasn't a thing, though.
Darwinism is a part of eugenics, brother.
Everybody under eugenics. But hold up. Everybody under eugenics, was they not Christians or Jews?
I don't get into the religious affiliation. I understand
you got to, because that's part of the doctrine. The doctrine of discovery is being pushed by Romans, Catholics, Christians.
I'm not denying the doctrine.
But you have to understand that. If you don't understand the doctrine of discovery, then you don't understand what happened here, because
I agree with you. I agree with you. I'm just saying I'm not getting into their religious ideology.
No. Yeah, young brother, we don't have to get into their religious philosophy. The agenda was laid out by the Vatican. All other Christians who call themselves or think they are not Catholic by defining themselves as Protestants. Martin Luther never renounced Catholicism. He was a Catholic bishop. He protested against the corruption of the powers that be that ran the Holy Roman Empire. He did not say he didn't believe any longer in the Father, the Son, the Holy Ghost, which is referred to as the Trinity. He didn't say he no longer believed in the resurrection, 3 days and ascension after crucifixion. He never said he disavowed patriarchy and the use of women and matriarchy as slaves. He never disavowed any of those things. And he certainly didn't distance himself from the so-called piety of being supposedly celibate and covering pedophilia and homosexuality, all of which
What does that
existed
have to do with
thousands of years ago in the Holy Roman so-called imperial universal church. That's all Catholic means. Catholic means universal. So all other people who profess Christianity fall under Catholicism, just as A1 said. But go
now,
ahead.
what does that have to do with eugenics?
What you mean? Eugenics
Margaret
is...
Sanger.
Oh,
let me
oh,
answer him specifically on that.
Oh, be clear.
Margaret
Be
Sanger
clear.
We're talking
and the
about
Eugenics Society was founded at Yale University. Those are both Protestants, and Yale University is a Protestant institution. But go ahead, A1.
No, we good. I'm about to play the video. No, we good. We good. We'll get back into the eugenics part of it later.
Yeah, because we all over the place on the dates, and that's not right.
Nah, we not. But listen, understand the whole play. The whole play of eugenics is coming from the Catholic Church, brother.
It can't be. It's not established until the 1880s.
No. Listen. The creation of it at whatever time it was created by Roman operatives, bro.
A Roman operative created eugenics.
Yes.
Not knowing what the hell that they were creating.
No, they knew what they was creating.
They did it for Rome, brother.
They didn't know Darwin didn't exist to even blame it on Darwin. And someone blamed it on Darwin a minute ago.
Brother, Darwin knew what they was doing. They had an agenda. They didn't mistakenly just do this.
So why did Darwin go against it?
Say that again?
Why did Darwin go against what they were doing?
Darwin went against who?
You said that they knew what they were doing. That Darwin knew what they was doing. Whoever
what you talking about? Natural selection, and that's why he created evolution, or natural selection? Listen, my dude, let's play the video. We'll get back into that, brother. I understand, brother. Oh, my dude, let's just kill it, bro. We'll get back into it. We had that conversation another time.
The Apples are going to say he won regardless. I mean, that's just we know about y'all. But the reality is, he did not afford himself well. Listen, Ankh and I, we brothers, but we're not buddies. We argue all the time.
Yeah. Y'all on the same team, bro.
Nah. Know that. We argue so heated that Sameter has to call him and call me and say, "What are y'all doing? Stop it."
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We argue all the time. He is not in my court.
That's on specifics of African history. When it comes to us, y'all gonna tag team.
Stop, brother, stop. The reality is that he showed sources that when you look at the source, it falls apart. Here goes. Let me just show you Giovanni Verrazzano.
All right, let's see.
Right? This is Giovanni Verrazzano. And here it says here, they are dark in color, not unlike the Ethiopians with thick black hair, not very long, blah, 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 blah. But then he goes down here and he says, in the last two respects, they resemble the Orientals, particularly those from the farther Cenarian regions. By the way, the Cenarian regions, he's talking about China, by the way. Oh, he's saying they're dark skin and they look like they're Chinese.
Mm-hmm.
He's just saying that they're dark.
Mm-hmm.
And it was on the screen. He just didn't read it.
So he's mentioning that they're both black and they look like Asians.
They're both dark.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That fits. That fits.
That's it. And he says not unlike the Ethiopians. He didn't say they are the Ethiopian. Right. He said not unlike they're dark like black people that we've seen. Yeah, the Africans. When he says but their features look like they're Orientals.
So
he's telling you, describing them. That's not what Ali said. That's not what Ali said. I have to show you Ali's source.
Sure. So you do know there's records stating that the Olmecan Mayan people, they were also described as black phenotype, but they had like almost like slanted eye. Like some people say, I look like I have slanted eyes, they say look like I'm high all the time. That's not the case, but you know what I mean. Like not like Asian eyes, but like oval shaped eyes. That was supposed to be a specific phenotype of Black Americans, that originated in America. I'm not saying we look like Black Asians, but you know what I mean? Like that was a specific phenotype I remember being described in that. You know what I mean? So I mean, I don't know. I'm just, but it was Black and Asian. That's what you said.
You can't fit 10 pounds of potatoes in a 5-pound bag. It's just the reality is he's describing what he sees, and he's not saying what Ali said he said. You read the source. Yeah, listen, this is ridiculous.
No, you ridiculous. Let's look at
the only thing
word.
ridiculous is about Jabari.
Let's look up
and
the
again,
word.
the manner in which he misappropriates contemporary, because he knows people are stuck in the racial classifications that have gone on uncontested for 200 years.
Right,
and even when we know in our own family, you can see dark-skinned people who have supposed Asiatic-looking features. But that also is ironic, though, A1. It specifically shows that they knew these were not African people. But go ahead.
They go to definition of Oriental. They go to definition of Oriental. Somebody mute that mic, please. They go to definition of Oriental. Now, a native or inhabitant of the East. Where the East at? Can anybody tell me where the East at?
We are the furthest east.
Okay,
On
East
which
could be
direction
any
you want to
fucking
go.
way. East
That
could
is
be
true.
any, and it's not no particular phenotype or no race or ethnicity.
It's your direction, as you would say. That is
Exactly.
a direction.
That's right. So look,
It
so
would
that's
be,
the
it would
now.
be considered Asia in the 15th century.
Huh?
All right. Based on the direction, it would be considered Asia in the 15th
Bro, we looking at the definition right here, man. We ain't gonna. You making an assumption, brother.
No, I'm not.
So show me the definition of it then.
All right, brother. It's New York North. It's New.
Brother,
It's
my dude. I'm not even going. We're not even having that comment. We going by the definition right here. We got the definition pulled up.
Right.
Because he's saying Oriental. No, he's saying Oriental as an Asian people. And we're not saying, we don't agree with that. So that's why we go to the definition and let's see what the etymology words say.
It says the people of the East, bro. So in the East, now we Asian.
It says, hold up, brother. It's not just Asian people in the East. Are there only Asian people in the East?
No, the Orientals in the East, bro.
Okay, all right. So the Oriental could be any phenotype, right?
Yep.
All right, that's all we saying. That's all we just trying to be clear. You understand what I'm saying?
It's in Southeast Asia and down in that area.
But you understand what we saying? It says, look, so this is an adjective. All right, this is something that's added on, right? It's saying late 14th century of the Orient from the East. It said Eastern from East. It said indirectly from Latin Orientalis, or belonging to the East. Okay, it's not saying nothing about no people or what the people look like.
And you know that also could be stretched to orientation too. Would you pull up Occidental in that same etymology?
It says native or inhabitant of the East. So that's referring to a people.
But it also, you can use the word as an orientation. You know what that word means. You know what orientation means,
so
right?
show me. So read this definition I got up here, and you put it in the perspective that is from. No, I got this. I got I got it right here. Okay. We can read this.
Native or inhabitant of the East. If you look up the word native, or if you look up the word inhabitant, it is referring to a people or a person.
All right, so native or inhabitant of the East, right? So where is the East at?
I just told you, Asia.
Is it saying Asia up here?
No, it is not.
Thought it was Africa.
And when you
come on, brother. Come on, my dude. We're not playing. All right, fam, we're gonna move on. Fam, you're doing too much, man. We're gonna move on.
No, I'm not. I want us to be right.
Could you pull up Occidental?
I got Occidental for you. I got Occidental for you.
Pull up Occidental. Go ahead.
That's an adjective. Of the 1400s, to, of, or in the west, of the sky or the earth. from Old French, Occidental, and directly from Latin, Occidentalis. Western from Occidentum, see Occident,
Now,
meaning
do you
of
see how
pertaining to.
both of those are references to direction?
Right, that's what I was getting.
You're having two different conversations now.
Look, bro, what the main conversation is this before we get caught up in the semantics of the word, right? The main conversation is my shit froze up. Can y'all still hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, brother.
Yeah,
You
Go
yeah,
good,
ahead.
yeah.
A1? You good, A1?
So what I'm saying is Oriental, right? The word Oriental, it doesn't specify that it's coming from Asia. So the East can be any fucking where East.
Yo, but I gotta say this. A1, back when you was doing your work on Prester John, right?
Yeah.
Didn't you break down how New York and Central America was considered La China?
Nah, I
Nigga,
ain't never.
nigga,
Nah,
you got a 4 hour video
nah,
on that. Nigga,
not
that's
on
where I
that.
learned it from.
Hold on, hold. Let me.
I did my research
Look,
on it, and
nah,
you
nah,
was
nah.
right.
Look. Listen, brother. What I'm telling you is this, right? I never use no word Chinese, so that might be a myth. But I did do something similar on Prester John. But what I'm saying is this. This is all I'm saying to you. The way Jabari using it, Jabari is saying
Yeah.
Oriental as meaning Asian people today.
Nah. What I'm saying is this. This what I'm saying. Cause you got so much information you probably don't remember. I'm telling you, nigga, I learned this shit from your
I
video,
understand, bro.
and I
Look, my
backed it
man.
up.
Look,
Like it
I
was
understand,
facts.
but that's not the. But look,
You didn't say Chinese. All
all
you
right, but
did
listen.
was you broke down how at one point in time what they call New York, not based on, because you just broke down what New York is, but you showed how Central America was considered La China. You spent like 5 minutes on it and then you just moved on. Like you didn't stay on, like you didn't do no couple episodes on it or nothing like that. But nigga, that's where I learned it from. And
But
I did my research,
it's
and
all
you,
good though, bro. But
yeah,
look, we don't want to go on because that's not the conversation we having, right? And I ain't trying to. I'm just saying respectfully, right? Respectfully, but
word.
the whole reason I brought Oriental up was to Jabari's point that he's saying because he's saying they look much like the Oriental, the people from the East. Wouldn't like and Ali Bamu said it the best? Wouldn't the Ethiopians be from the East?
Exactly. It depends on what orientation is your traveling as seafaring people. But here's the other thing. And he thinks he's
Yeah.
slick with his shit. Because see, this is this elitism bullshit that
So
people
who
think
would
they're
be
more
seafaring?
intelligent
So who
than
would be
the
seafaring?
unwashed masses. He's using contemporary thinking and projecting it backwards in time the same way these people have tried to include themselves backwards into time. And the
Which
problem is the whole world was a fear of the black planet. Okay? Even if you listen to
Only
what
be it
Benjamin
is.
Franklin
Everybody was
himself
black
said,
already.
the minority position of pale skinned people was without a doubt in the 1750s. So what
which
the fuck
was
would it have been 300 years earlier in the
which is what I was
1400s?
about to say, because A1 said something of importance 2 weeks ago on when he was on live. He was like, let's address the Aborigines, right? And then we can go from there, right? Because that'll tell us everything. That'll tell us who the sellouts are. Now, the reason I speak on the sellouts is because these other nations of people can't do, we can't be in the situation we are today if it ain't for black sellouts. We gotta address this because us finding out who we really are, that's gonna bring us to everything else. You
Hey,
see
look,
what I'm
real quick,
saying? Like,
before I get back in the video, right? Look, we know all of the black sellouts took the title of Rome, which it would be any of their agents, whether it's Judaism, whether it's
mhm,
Islam, whether it's Catholicism or it's Christianity, because they control
yeah,
all of it, and they use all of these people like to make you think that they're separate when they really are together.
yeah. And speaking of that, because A1 came on Elquan's show one day, and Elquan, my dog. You know what I'm saying? Even though they got their disagreements on how things should be handled, um, you know, I spoke to A1 because, like I told your ass then, nigga, I view you as a professor. But at the same time, I don't knock no brother. Like religion came secondary, right? That's secondary. That's not. If a brother is on point when he's talking about our history, we gotta address that first. Religion is secondary. I could care less
Not when
about
it
that.
comes. No, not when it comes to your situation that you got today, brother. It's not secondary. It's
Nah, what I'm
secondary.
saying is
It's
this.
secondary from a point of view that you don't have. I don't want to stay too long on this because we got to get back
Go
into
ahead,
the
go ahead,
video.
go ahead.
But what I'm saying is, it's from the perspective to where we don't adhere to religion. All right, I understand that.
Yeah,
But what
yeah,
I'm
that's why
saying
I'm
is,
saying it's
so
secondary because I
We
put that on
sound
the back
religious,
burner.
though. But we
and we
sound
lead.
religious.
Huh?
Nah, what I'm saying is this. Let me be clear. Let me be clear. When I say
Hold on.
go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
We sounded religious.
All right,
Do
so
you
why
not
are you
agree with
saying
that?
that? So no. Why are you saying we sound religious?
Because of what we're saying, the way that we're saying it, and the way we're conveying it, we're not definitive with evidence. We're hearsay. Everything that we're saying, and we're also making the mistake of projecting. When we do the same thing they do, we're making the same mistakes. So that's
Would
why
that
Nah,
be all
brother,
right?
I
So
gotta disagree with you right there.
fan. Hold up,
Go
fan. Come
ahead,
on,
go
man.
ahead, go
Let's
ahead.
have some discourse, brother. Let's have some discourse. All right, so listen. So you saying the doctrine of discovery, where this is coming directly from Rome and coming from Catholicism, and they calling people pagans, anyone who is not a Jew or Christian, and they saying put them under perpetual servitude. So how are we sounding religious?
no.
Nobody sitting up here talking about they pray to no God. No. If we sounded religious, we would be sitting up in here saying scriptures and saying, oh, we supposed to be we
You
talking
are. You are. You don't
I
think that
am?
you are, but yes.
Okay.
Not
Nah,
biblically.
brother,
No,
Brother, listen, I listen to everybody. All I'm saying is we sound like him.
Listen, great.
Do you not agree with that?
No, I do not. I respectfully disagree. Let's get back into the video. Peace to God.
Yo, y'all saw that?
And I was gonna say, anybody that know Big Dog Philly OG know I ain't religious at all. I don't deal with that. Go ahead, y'all got it.
I mean, I don't even understand why we're doing this.
I hear you, bro.
I would like to hear what Ali has to say, if you don't mind. Yeah, you know what I mean. I still have a question for Ali, but I do want to hear what Ali's perspective is on it.
Come on, man.
Well,
if that's possible.
If I can comment on this without losing my question, ask me the question. I'm gonna address everything that he said in the Jesuit letters and everything, but I don't care.
Okay, bet.
What?
You're still saying Jesuit?
Bro, I don't care nothing about you trying to play rhetoric, bro. Like, we know what kind of game. And see, that's the thing about you, bro. You showing me a new face for Jabari, but it's okay.
Yes.
You want to ask me this question, and I'm gonna do a double dip on this.
Bet. So my question is, it's pretty simple. Do you feel like the Buenos Aires skull that was found in the Americas, do you feel like that is also a proper point or position to state how long we had civilizations in the Americas, of Aboriginal descent? Do you feel like that's a good point, or not really? That's all.
Well, here's the thing about the Buenos Aires skull. For people who don't know, the Buenos Aires skull was a skull that was discovered by the Ameghino family. And the Ameghino family were anthropologists and archaeologists in Argentina. And so because it was found below a pre-Encinadian it's like a block of limestone that would denote that it's probably about 1.5 million years old. Then Ameghino began to use that. Now, if you don't know Florentine Ameghino, he was someone who was into phylogenetics, and they give him partial credit for the development of that system. But because he was also saying what I'm saying at the time, that the antiquity of these things and these fossils that I'm finding are in certain stratia of the earth, they sent people over there with him to test him. And I have all of that listed in my book. I didn't get a chance to go through all of that. So with that particular find, I would say no, because of the provenance in that find. When we get something that's found, there's a archaeological report that's done on that particular thing. And so the skull that was denoted to this particular thing, it doesn't have a provenance find. There are others that do. And so most of the book that most people will come across is from the book by Michael Cremo, Forbidden Archaeology. There's some pseudo stuff in there and some real stuff in there. But a person who is pro-evolution to the point where they're pretty much in high agreement with the consensus of how Europeans will present that, they will take Michael Cremo's work and look at the pseudo stuff that he presents in it and not the other stuff. And you don't do that as a scholar. You look at the whole thing, which is what Jabari is doing with the Jesuit letters and the Inca stone. So let's go back to this Jesuit letters. Jabari put on the screen that the Jesuit letters had Negroes from Guinea. That's one. And Negroes, the terror, that was American. Now, inside of the Jesuit letters that I show in the book and that Jabari posted in the debate, Jabari just said the Jesuit letters did not say they were black. You know what? You're partially right, you rhetoric two-stepping. You're partially right, because they didn't use the word black. They used the word Negro, which means black. Bruh, are y'all actually sitting on this panel?
Go it again, Ali. Show your slide again. Let's see.
Come on,
Let's go.
Let's go back to exactly what.
Let me see what you're talking about, because Jabari just did a good job with his. Let me see if you can combat that.
Nah, bro. I'm about to
this for the whole contest right here. Let's see. Everybody can see this clear as day. This one little piece right here. We ain't got to talk about that for this. I seen what you did, Jabari. I'm agreeing with Jabari.
Yeah.
Now, what you doing?
You can agree with whoever you want to agree with, but I'm about to show you what he showed and what I have in the book.
All right, go ahead. Let me see what you did.
How the fuck is this possible?
That sounded crazy, yo. That's funny. That's
bro. What is he like? Jabari turned out to be a whole liar, bro. Like I thought we were having a debate.
I'm a liar.
Like, you went to just straight. I'm a lie.
I'm a lie.
Man.
Hold on. That's exactly what you showed.
Hey,
still making it.
That makes sense. Just give me a second. Don't try
let's
to
see. Jabari, let's see. Change that magical slide. Let's see.
No, I ain't got to change shit. I'm about to go right back to the Jesuit letters and read that part about
what language were the Jesuit letters?
And read that part about Negroes Diguan. All right, here we go.
All right, let's see.
So now,
let me see.
On my book, if I can't share somebody got to share what I'm showing.
I can't. Where's that? I don't see you. Where you at?
I'm right here. I got my book up and I'm on page 48.
All right, go ahead. Hit the screen share to present.
All right, so let me present. Share screen.
Hey, go ahead.
All right, window. Oh yeah, it came up. All right, bingo.
All right, where's that?
So now.
All right, here you go. There you go.
This is me quoting the Jesuit letters.
All right, read it
at
slow.
the bottom of his screen. Hold on. Wait. Let me finish what I'm saying.
Did you make it larger so we can read
Africans, it? I'm trying to make my point.
I'm asking you to make it larger so we can read it.
Okay,
I'm not trying to argue with you. I want to read it.
We about to make it real big. You had this quote at the bottom of your page right here. Right? And you can see my source, number 15. I'm gonna show you exactly where I got it from, because you was quoting from somewhere. Okay, I got Africans and Native Americans right here, and I had some Ibis in here. But this source is from Africans and Native Americans, the same place they get.
Right,
so now I don't even know how Jabari just said the Jesuit letters did not say they were black, because right here they're talking about Africans and calling them Negroes and Indios. Then it says when Africans are referred to in the Jesuit letters, they are always called Negroes Diguan, Black of Guinea, to distinguish them from Negroes de Terra, blacks of the land of the Americas. That's just one point. Like, bruh, how can you just
wow.
If you go back and you said the Jesuit letters did not say they were black, bruh, what are you talking about?
Damn.
Wow.
You know what? And I'm gonna go to the East now. But Jabari, my dear brother Jabari, you need to stink. You need to stink in that damn seat. You are a brother.
All right, so that right there showed clarity. Because remember, even when you get into Brazil, they tell you Brazil was the largest place. I mean, the place where they bought more all these African slaves, but it was already Negroes in Brazil. And how we already know that? Because we can go back and look at Luzia. So it's been Negroes in Brazil for tens of thousands of years.
Hold on, you calling Luzia Negro?
Yeah, I mean, yes, she's a Negro.
How did you determine that?
How did I determine it? The expert
Yeah,
determined.
because the archaeologists down there don't even call her a Negro, bro.
I'm
We got to
sorry,
be
say that.
honest about some of this
Hold
shit. We can make a
on.
Well, also the archaeologists never disagreed that the first people walking this plane, or every single plane, were what you would consider a Negro. They were all extremely melanated. That's how you know that they were Negro. You know what I'm saying? All forms of science prove this, from Asian to America to the scientists out in Africa. Every single university in all of existence. No
Hey, hold on,
one.
Mike check. Real quick. He addressed me, brother. Let me address myself, brother. This is my panel, right?
Oh, go ahead. Handle your thing, A1.
Nah, cause I said something specific. I got a specific argument, but what you saying, it only adds clarity. But listen, he's saying, my man, go unmute your mic.
Yeah.
All right, I'm talking about Luzia. Now you saying that Luzia. I'm talking about Luzia now. We're gonna go back to
Yeah, that's
Luzia.
what we talking about.
You
Yeah.
just went on the rant, right? So you said Luzia are not Luzia wasn't a Negro, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Chief Holiday. Holiday. Where you at, Holiday?
Right here.
Holiday. What was the description that they that the expert, not this? What's your name again, brother?
I have an expert account. If you want me to share my screen, I can prove to you.
We got the experts. I got all the expert account. I don't need to see nothing from you. I got six. I got all 6 articles, brother. All
you
6
sure?
articles. I'm
positive.
positive.
What's the author's name on
We are astute in what we talk. We are astute in what we talk. I don't have to look. We are very astute, brother. We are very astute in what we say.
Let me. Can I explain to this brother? Okay, so my brother, how do you identify? How do you know that people that they say that so-called black people come from Africa, right?
I don't know nothing. I don't know nothing about black people. So
Yeah, that was a slick ass question you just asked. That A1 ain't never backed that shit up. A1 always taught that America is the first land out of water. You know what I'm saying? This is the first soil to come up out of the water from all of existence. So that brother ain't never said that so-called blacks come from Africa. That brother ain't never taught that. You know, I don't even teach that because it can be backed up. If what you're saying is true, right? If you hold that stance, let me ask you a question.
No, I don't understand.
Why is
I'm trying to get somewhere with what I'm saying.
okay? Because I was about to say, why is our first form of mathematics, our first form of writing, our first form of civilization, our first form of infrastructure, all comes out of the Americas, dating tens of thousands of years before Africa was.
No, so brother, you basing that off of science, correct?
Hold up, real quick. Hey, look, fellas, when one person is talking, do not jump in with another question. You could go ahead and address them at any given time, but let's be cordial so we can get our point across. That's the whole purpose what we trying to do. So go ahead, Chief.
All right, so what I'm trying to say, I'm gonna ask some more questions. What I'm trying to say is right. So when we're talking about Luzia, for instance, right, at the time when when they found her and the evidence and all these things came out, we're only going to talk about the scientific how they identified that she was a female, right? They're using what is called
craniometry, right? And craniology is the study of skeletal remains, my brother. And this is the way how scientists identify human beings. Now, the fact that she's a woman, right, says that because they can compare skeletal remains to living women, right, of certain ages, things like that, so they can tell it's a baby by measuring how old. It could be a teenager, so on and so forth, right? So Luzia's measurements, according to the experts, and you're speaking to experts, brother, who say that she's a Negro. Period. During the time period when science says that the entire planet was populated by niggas, bro. And I
Yo,
know niggas
Chief.
like to play all these super games. Hold on, brother. I know y'all like to play these super games and all this bullshit, but there's no evidence that so-called black people or whatever the game you want to play, what you want to call people that come from Africa, come from Africa. There's no evidence of this, as well as civilization. Civilization comes from America.
That's not true.
North
But
America. Well,
Chief,
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Hey, brother. Listen to what you're saying. Listen to what you just said at your face right there. Hold on. Listen to what you just said right there. I can guarantee. Hold on. Listen. All you got to do is just tell me the oldest civilization in Africa. Go.
There's tons of them that are older. What do you mean? Old. First, you have to
I
find
just needed one. I just needed one. I only need one.
So the Nubian culture is older.
Sir,
older.
Nubian is not even indigenous to Africa.
No,
Can you please give me something
I'm
that
not
you
even.
talk about?
I'm not here to argue for Africa, brother. I'm not.
Just say you don't know. Just say you don't know. Hold on, brother.
I know. I gave you
just
one.
Say you
asked
don't know.
Me for one. Do you know what a civilization
just say you don't know. Just say you don't know.
Do you know what a civilization is?
Do you?
Yes. So there was no writing script that predates what they have over there. We don't need to argue over that, brother. What I'm telling you is about we talking Lucia.
I got you.
We're talking Lucia,
when you say that,
brother.
Sir, when you say that, you have to say this is the right script that I'm talking about.
No genetic evidence supports what you just said. You called her a Negro.
I literally cited the science that I proved that she's a Negro.
Okay, so my man, hold on. All right. So
there's a study by 72 researchers across 8 countries that conclude totally different from you, brother.
Fam, okay. All right, you saying it's 78 studies.
72 researchers.
Okay.
72.
All right. So, okay, hold up. Across how many countries?
8 countries.
And they took Lucia, right? They took
Lucia.
They took how many skulls did they find with Lucia?
Yep. Told her that she ain't African. And
how many skulls did they find with Lucia?
Lucia is one.
They found 81 skulls. Listen. I'm about to mute you, fam. I'm about to mute you respectfully, bro.
Okay.
Now you listen. They found 81 skulls, 42 men and 39 women. What the fuck is you talking about? The expert who did the craniology said Lucia resemble people of modern Africa, South Pacific Islander, and Australia.
That she don't.
I don't know what the fuck, bro. My dude, we going by the experts, bro. I don't want to hear that.
The experts don't say that.
I don't. The expert who did the bus.
The 72 people said she had no link to Africa or Australia, bro.
They said we going by the expert. We going by the craniologist that found her.
All of those
skulls. A1, hold on. I think he's confused. He said that she wasn't connected to Africa or Australia.
I said that she's not connected to Africa or Australia.
We're definitely not saying that. We're definitely not saying she's African.
Said it, though. I was just only trying to correct him.
Hold on, brother. You're correct. You're just misunderstanding it right now. Okay, so A1 is not saying that Lucia. He's saying that they're saying, brother, that she resembles African, Melanesians, and Austria, that's just a send-off, brother. It's just to confuse you in the psychological
but it's
warfare.
Really not to confuse you. It says she resembles these people, not that she's from these places.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. But that's the whole thing. So that's the whole thing, though. But they're comparing her measurements and her bones to modern American Aborigines. I just wanted to point that out to y'all. And if you get into the actual scientific studies, want to point that out.
Right, the scientific studies link up back to Southeast Asians and those.
But the Pam Doodles can't provide human skeletal remains or a civilization like you can in Africa.
I don't dismiss their evidence because they have their evidence.
Fam. You just said Southeast Asia, right?
Yes.
What do the people like?
Her genetic evidence provides proof.
Do the people from Southeast Asia look like us?
No.
Oh, really? Or you want to go down this road?
Yeah, because they carry certain genes traits that are not like
we don't want to hear nothing about no fucking genes, brother. Go ahead, go deal with it.
They don't look nothing like us, brother.
Hold on.
They have more archaic features than we do, brother. We don't carry no damn archaic features.
Are you talking archaic? What does that mean, brother?
We don't share any gene traits in our face from Denovicens or Neanderthals.
So you're a Darwinist. You believe in?
No, I'm not a Darwin anything. I just like evidence.
Wait. Your evidence
come from?
Sir, your evidence comes from Darwin.
No, it does not, brother.
Okay, I'm sorry. Explain to everybody listening where your evidence comes from.
All right. Again, my evidence comes from 72 researchers from
No. Get back to the what you were talking about before that right there, because you don't understand what you just read, sir. Because they're getting into genetics.
Brother,
did you understand what craniology is and craniometry, what I said about that? And that's how they identify human beings? Did you understand that?
The only way that they identify human beings.
I'm not saying it's the only way. I'm saying it's I didn't say it's the only way. It's the most reliable way. It's not the most reliable. Hold on, sir. Listen. Everything else comes from the theory of evolution and the out of Africa hypothesis.
That's what you might not like evidence, but I love it.
I'm sorry, you haven't presented any. You haven't presented any evidence. You haven't presented any evidence.
Okay, I can share my screen. Let me know when I can share my screen.
No, you don't have to. See, here's the thing. I'm not sharing my screen. But I presented evidence. Where's yours?
I have presented evidence, brother.
I presented evidence. Where is yours?
The Journal of Cell, a group of 72 researchers from 8 countries affiliated with the University of Sao Paulo in Brazil, Harvard University, United States, and the Max Planck Institute and the Science of Human History in Germany, among others, participated in telling us who the hell Lucia was, bro.
Hold on. So are you talking about the same Zionist Germans? Sir, are you listening to yourself? You sound retarded right now. So
have you
trying to
ever
explain, sir?
The scientists?
I literally asked you about craniology. You don't know about that.
Yo,
right?
Brother. Let me ask the brother a question, because he asked a specific question. He was like, name some shit about a civilization.
Broke up, bro. I don't know if it's me or him. Mic check.
Okay, I think I'm unmuted now.
You got it.
No, I muted you.
So
I muted. I muted you.
Okay, word.
I'm trying to show him something real quick.
Because I was going to ask him if the Dogons predate the Mayans.
Fan. Don't insert.
All right, word.
Get a chance to talk, bro. So this is Richard Neves. This is the individual who found Lucia. This is him. This is the bust that he did. Now let's go to the actual article of what he said. He's the expert. Fuck all this talking. I'm gonna show you this, and we're gonna go back to the fucking video. We're not gonna keep. And look. Understand what he gets said, right? So he gets said South Pacific Islanders don't look like us, right? This is South Pacific Island right here, bro. This is the Australian. This is an African. All right? This is an African, okay? So his actual article is this one. This is it. Let's go right here. So it's saying, it says the set of bones from the skeletons from the Brazilian prehistoric made up of 42 men, like I just told you, and 39 women, with an age estimated or dated between 7,500 and 11,000 years. Now look, listen to this part right here. This challenged most accepted theories about the first inhabitant of the New World. The scholars from the region in minus Guerrero, whatever, indicates that the original discoverers of America had like Lusia features, right? That recall those of present day Australians and blacks of Africa. We need to go back up. This is the other bus of when he did the recreation, and this is the image that he got. Do this motherfucker look like us or not?
Hold on, but see, here's the thing
Nah,
though.
don't say no but. Oh no, Chief, no. Do they look like us? Yes or no? Is it clear on what we saying? I just want to be clear. Before you come in and say but, I just want to be clear on what I just said.
Right, but I'm saying though, like when we're reading their narrative, that's my
Brother,
point.
I'm not saying that now. Their narrative is giving a description to what Lucia is looking like. It's not saying that she's from Australia or from Africa. This is
Right,
what an African look like. So
but they compared her skeletal remains to modern
black people.
black
All they
people in
say.
America, not with not with people in Africa or South Pacific Islands or Australia. They compared these skeletal remains of the people of our people here. This is how they identify them. I just needed to put that in the air because I know we get confused with the terminologies because the whole article as well as the
Nobody's getting
BBC.
confused with the terminology. It's
No,
obvious. If I'm
he's
saying,
confused, but I'm not saying
all right,
you
so
are.
that's why I'm saying it. That's why I'm putting emphasis on what I'm saying. He's not
Yeah.
saying that they're from there. He's saying they resemble. Do we have to pull up a dictionary to what the word resemble means?
Let me ask you a question. And it would be a question for him. Like, do we resemble Africans?
I mean, some people look like Africans, Chief. We can't
Well, I'm
say
just saying though,
that
like
some
we
niggas
can
in
definitely
America.
tell. We can definitely tell the difference.
This nigga right
Right?
here, like Chad Johnson, brother. So we can't say some of it. Let's be realistic. Let's be for real. Let's be for real. Some of us do look like Africans, brother.
I don't know about that one.
Not directly. I'm not
Well,
directly because they got different.
but going
Nah,
back to
yo,
the
A1. If America is the oldest civilization, if America is the oldest civilization in all of existence, if the plane that we call the Americas is the first planes out of the waters, then
Yeah,
how in
but
the hell
in
is we not?
conventional history, it is not said that it was niggas in America. So therefore, when they do these discoveries and find skeletons, they say they give you a description of other black people in other places to give you an idea what the people look like here.
Yeah,
Simple.
I get what you're saying, A1, but this is my point. If America is the oldest land in all of existence, then how can you not have brothers that look like Americans in all of the other planes?
But
It
my
wouldn't
man,
make
he
no
don't know
sense.
that. This stuff we teaching, sometimes we just can't throw it out there because we have newcomers and we have to sit them down and then we
Yeah,
give them the instruction and walk towards your chair and then they raising their hand already like,
I get
teacher, I
what
need
you're
that.
saying. I get
So
what
this
you're
is what's
saying.
going on. So let's get
Yo,
back.
I
Let's get
I understand what you're saying because sometimes I don't understand why you do things the way you do because I be knowing you know this information but then like when you say shit like what you just said, I understand. You know what I'm saying? I get what you're saying. You gotta
got
sometimes,
to. You gotta
yeah,
meet
you
people where
can't
they
give
at.
every brother, you can't feed every brother with meat. You gotta feed some brothers with milk, like babies.
You have
So
to
yeah,
meet people where they at because everybody is not privy. Some people are more further advanced with this research to where you have to sit down and what he's saying, then you'll get the indication that he don't know what we talking about. You don't
yeah,
ask people what they know. You ask them. I mean, you don't ask them what they don't know. You ask them what they know, and they're gonna tell you everything they don't know. So everything the
word,
brother didn't
word.
know that was up here having these contentions when the evidence was just exhibited to this brother. I just exhibit the evidence. We don't need to go no further and be like, oh, but this and oh, but that. They did the DNA test. How the people who looking like Africa? How the people who looking like us and the other people around the world? You would say that their DNA would be the same as African, but then now there's a mysterious black person who has another DNA. The fuck out of here! Ali Muhammad just explained it. He just explained that all of us have because we have a certain melanin complexity.
Word. Nigga, I
But
get
going
it,
back to
nigga.
this though, right? And so that even we even start talking about people in Asia, they call the original people there are called Negritos. They're still there today. They've been there for tens of thousands of years. The original people of Europe are niggers. The original people of everywhere are niggers, bro. So why does this escape the reality that only in America that mixed people predate the original people? That's
Hey,
stupid. We
hey,
keep
Chief.
having stupid conversations all the time, and I think there's a lot of COINTELPRO behavior going on. And y'all know it goes on over there. So
Hey,
we
look,
don't
I
have clean
proposed a
house.
question. Chief, I proposed a
That's all.
question earlier, right? Let's listen to the question I proposed, right? Now, a lot of people saying that black Europeans came in, which I call Moors, right? And they saying that a lot of people have genealogy with these people, right?
I just let him know.
You heard me, Chief?
I hear you.
Oh, let me mute my man. There you go. He muted. So, I mean, a lot of people doing their genealogy, and they find out that they got black Europeans in their family, right? I mean, you heard that, right?
I haven't seen nobody prove that yet, but
I mean, I'm just saying
Dr.
you have
Bunk
heard.
every day.
I'm not saying,
Go ahead.
listen, Chief. I'm not saying that it's right and exact. I'm saying that this is what's being said, though, right?
Yep.
All right. So if that's being said, then them are more. So even the Indians over here who claim they got black Europeans still got Moorish ancestors because them are Moors. They're not called black Europeans. That's just another way of deviating by not saying that they're Moors.
Yeah, I don't like terms that people didn't call themselves. I like to get a little bit more specific. You know what I'm saying? However, I understand exactly what you're saying, but I think that's the level of the confusion too in this psychological warfare that Ali, as well as he's reading stuff. Like first off, Jack D. Forbes, all those guys know about Jack D. Forbes, right? But Jack D. Forbes had editors that made him change the title from Africans and Native Americans. We know Africans is a social construct, just like Native Americans is a social construct. That book was written in the 80s. You understand where I'm going here?
And he's speaking
So,
from a eugenics talking point. Even Forbes talking from a eugenics talking.
and so
Because
was Ali, and so
yeah,
this brother right,
yeah.
brother right here. You don't know it because it's all tied together. They don't understand this is all CIA talking points, and a lot of people are doing it not knowing. That's understandable. But when we pull you
Because they
closer,
can't go back to the root of their education and realize that their education was compromised from its inception.
yeah,
It never was meant to teach you what you wanted, what you really need to know. It was meant to keep you indoctrinated and keep you docile. That's
right. We
why they
weren't
say,
colonized, we were indoctrinized. Period.
yeah, period. That's
I
it.
debate any human being on colonization, slavery, anything that y'all talking about. I debunk you. And also, when we talk about the doctrine, that's why I came on here. You guys are talking about religion. First and foremost, it literally just got rescinded and all the stuff. The Pope him said the shit was fairy tale. So that means that everything that y'all talking about when it comes to the doctrine of discovery and conquest and all this Christians and all these literature is fairy tale. It should be it's in the fairy tales section of history. That's where it should go in your mind. You should stop thinking that people conquested us. It didn't happen.
They did conquest us. That's why you got people who Christians that go to church every Sunday under the doctrine of discovery. We wasn't doing that prior to them implementing it to us. So people are. We might not be, but the people that's out there are. And even if the doctrine of discovery is fake, it worked because these people are under perpetual servitude.
Well, once again, we just talk about a psychological. That's the origin of their psychological warfare. That Christopher
Yeah.
Columbus came here with 50 motherfuckers and humped and killed everybody, breathed on everybody, all this fake ass stories that they're telling. And then also when we talk about Negroes,
the Guinea, right? We broke this down a lot of times, man. We talk about this. We get into the etym of words and the origin of words. These words come from America. They're describing American rivers and mountains and the people. It's not describing Africa. I'm going to keep saying that. So I'm blue in the face. Okay. So I just
That's
want to
why I
point that out there.
always talk about what
Guinea
I
is the
know.
Allegheny.
You know,
The Allegheny River.
I know what I grew up in. I
Allegheny.
know the church used to be a community center for our people, and Jesus wasn't there. Jesus moved in. So once they figured they could capture our minds in our community, that's when we failed. It happened in our, if you 40 or older, you seen this shit happen. It happened right real time. They brought us down. The news broadcasts, they was telling us it's our shit. You know, I remember all that. I seen the downfall. I was a kid. I knew better. Grown folks didn't know better for some goddamn reason. But I relinquished the mic.
Yeah, man.
The ferocity of these people, whether it's Jabariites, Jabari himself, Sonetta, the hustling wannabe nigga, these are positions that are embedded and ingrained. And we're in an uphill battle to the bottom. We are trying to get out of the dungeon. And as you are navigating this, people closest to you are the most dangerous. You can see these others, and you determine whether or not you want to draw them near to you. But these people, like this young brother who keeps begging off saying he doesn't mean it, you know, the road to hell and good intentions, cliche quote, you know. Now, these folks that are fighting desperately to keep this in check and in place, y'all explain that to me.
I mean, you can't even explain it, man, because like I said, even when you show people the evidence, they still sitting back, pushing back, talking some fucking DNA. And every time that they talk about a DNA, it's always an agent of eugenics is a German. They always tell all these people are Germans, brother. You understand what I'm saying? And all the people who create the DNA companies are either Germans or Jews. The Germans are agents of Rome. The Jews are agents of Rome. So no matter where you get it from, these niggas go by many different hats and many different names, and they are all connected to one central organization. This is what people don't understand. They ran so many different plays on you, you don't even know the players. You don't even know the league that the teams are on that's in the game. They're on League Rome.
How many of you out of high school had friends in high school that went to college and played pseudo fraternities? And 10 years after high school in the professional world, they're not the same people. They look at you like a fucking enemy. You know, their love ain't there no more.
Look behind Jabari. Look over Jabari. That would be right shoulder. Don't you see a paddle right there? Remember
Let me
school
see.
days? Look, don't
Yeah,
Jabari
yeah,
look like one of them niggas in school days?
yeah,
Remember school days? Look, he got a paddle back there. What you
yeah.
think that paddle ain't go across his ass?
Oh, yeah, it
You
did.
think that was just a wood shop project and
That
shit,
was a
right?
discipline act.
And they made that shit in wood shop, right? Look, he got a
Yeah.
paddle right there. So that paddle went over Diaz. So he's one of them too. He's one of them niggas, and he looked like one of them niggas in school days.
Big
Sworn
brother
to never
being
tell.
almighty.
They sworn to never tell. The
Look,
Mormons,
the gamma,
that
yeah, look.
parade that they have in Philadelphia every fucking year for the last 100 years. They wear Moors fez, red fez, paint they fucking white people paint their faces black, and they roam through the streets of Philadelphia mocking the Americans. Look at
and
what fools we made out of
well,
you.
oh, you say American wore fezzes. Oh,
Yeah, it was the Mormons parade in Philadelphia. You ever
mm-hmm.
heard of it?
Nah,
Yeah,
but that's probably a symbol like what they
They've
do
been
over there in
doing it for the
Europe.
last 100 years.
Yeah, but that's probably the same shit they do over there in Europe with black what the fuck is that nigga name? The motherfucker who they say be rolling with Santa Claus. I can't think of his name, but they put the same afro
St.
on.
Nicholas?
Not St. Nicholas. It's something else. It's gonna come to me in a minute. But they
Black
run through
Pete. Black Pete.
It is Black
Black
Pete,
Pete,
Saint Nick.
Black Pete,
Yeah.
Black Pete, Black Pete. So they dress up with the afros, and see, we look at that shit like, oh shit, that's them in black. No, that's them honoring their ancestors or the people who delivered them from the darkness. These people still know exactly. And I got Rob in the back, and and real respect, but it is what it is when it comes to this history, because now we know. Now we know exactly why they've been lying. Because they don't want us to know who we are. Well, I'm gonna get a little bit back into this video right here, and we can come back in. So everybody mute up.
Now I know. Let me finish what I'm saying. Let me finish what I'm saying. I did not interrupt you. I didn't interrupt you. I didn't say nothing.
So let me respond. Now you're going.
No. I didn't say nothing. Let me finish my point. Because you're gonna sink in this seat right now.
Damn.
This brother, wait, let me finish. This brother just said five minutes ago that the Jesuit letters did not say they were black. He put the same thing on his presentation screen that I'm showing right now.
Scroll the paper down real quick.
Can I please respond?
No, I'm not finished. I'm not finished.
He's saying the same thing.
No, you're not going to do that. See, now so let me tell you what's happening now.
Ali an assassin, bro. Sorry, let him finish.
Now, what's happening now is it's not just fun and games. You're getting disrespectful because you a liar.
Nobody's
getting disrespectful for. And so now what I just did is Jabari showed this on his screen during the presentation. I have it in my book. I just said it. I'm showing the exact same thing. And this brother said that the Jesuit letters did not say that the Americans were black. Brother, they saying it right here in front of your face. You are a liar, bro.
That's the first time you said this.
No, I did not interrupt you, bro.
Sonetter.
No, bro. I didn't call Sonetter when you was talking.
Stop.
I didn't call Sonetter when you was talking. Let me finish my point.
You said the same thing. Let me respond.
I don't care what I can say the same thing over and over, but let me finish my point.
Let him finish, Jabari.
So make the point, Sonetter. Have him make the point. He said the same thing 4 times. Have him make the point.
Now, I'm gonna be quiet till he stops talking because now you don't have no respect and now you're not a gentleman. Because I didn't interrupt you. And I don't want to partake in this if we're going to go back and forth like that. What I'm saying is you are a liar, bro.
Oh, man.
You are a god liar. Now, let's go back to the last one that you just did, which is right above this, where we got the 15-foot. I got more depictions of this, but let's go back to the scenario. Oh man, let's go back to this Verrazano. Damn, the Verrazano quote where he says the Orient and the Cenarian regions. See, y'all playing games. Y'all ain't about to play games with me because where we go? Let me see. Negroes, blah, blah, blah. I think that it's the next one. Here we go. This is Verrazano, right? Now, he calls them dark in color, not unlike the Ethiopians.
That's the phrase.
That's the first place. Now, when you go to this part, he says, from what we could tell from observation in the last 2 respects, they resemble
Ethiopia didn't exist during Verrazano time. That's why
particularly
I pointed
those
out.
Cenarian regions. I don't know why black people trying to act like you don't got a cousin that got 4C hair, and then the next cousin over got 3C hair that's wavier or straight. One is darker than the other ones. One got eyes that look like this. One got like the phenotypes amongst African Americans vary so much because of all the places that we come from and admixtures that have happened, which is one of the reasons I showed the base population. Then I showed people coming from Africa, people coming from these traits are now going and circulating through. At this time that Verrazano is talking about the Orient, I showed the definition of Orient. Orient just means the East. Then he went to say the Cenarian regions.
All right.
Let me finish my point. We got cousins, uncles that have phenotypes and features right on our block that vary all types of ways amongst the African American population. And lastly, on this Inca stone thing, let me finish this particular on the Inca stones, because bro, see you real disrespectful because I ain't.
Yo, Ali, you gotta let him go in. You gotta let him respond.
He's talking about 3 different topics.
Hold on, bro. This is like, bro. I had 3 points. You said these things. I'm rebutting each one that you said. I'm rebutting.
You're saying the same thing.
You know what, bro? This is games you playing. Like I don't even. You know what I mean? I'm about to lose respect for you as a dude for real. You playing games and now you cut me off. You off, and I had one more point to make about the Inca stones, so I can prove.
Go ahead and make your point. Go ahead and make your
bro. So like, ain't nobody cutting you off, bro. Like. You're not jarring no emotion. You're not jarring no emotion. What you're doing is you're showing your character, bro. So chill out. Let me finish my point. God dang. All right. So
what you got them Inca stones? You got them Inca. You know them Inca stones ain't going nowhere. I got you like 10 years
I don't care
ago.
what y'all say. I don't care what y'all say, because now y'all got to deal with the thread of what I said about.
Let him finish, John, so he can pass the mic.
Let me finish. So now, all right. Can we go to share my screen? Let me stop sharing and then present my screen, share screen, and I want to bring up this again so that we could be clear about this, because sometimes we be going fast and y'all and folk don't realize. All right, so this is the book, right? What the only reason I showed the book in this presentation was to show this. Let me go down. This is the Inca stones that I showed, right? The purpose of me showing this particular map is to show plate tectonics, right? North America, South America, a continent that was lost, that this little Indian alleged that he was carving these stones. The brother just proved to you, and I have this a source in the book, the stones were discovered before the colonization. When the Spanish are reporting, and the stones are already there with the people who are called the Incas. This in this book. I'm gonna show that source. So anybody, he couldn't fake no goddamn stone. They've been making these stones. Next, North America, South America, the lost continent, and West Africa. These ancient new plate tectonics. And so I went to show you the lost continent of Zealandia, which is considered Earth's 8th continent. The reason why you string these two together is because it shows provenance in the maps of the same civilization that was writing about antiquity into the quadrillions of years. Like, what I'm showing you is how you take scientific facts and thread them together in a thesis. My thesis was, you can't even make this map. You can't even make this map of a continent that they said was there, because this was just discovered.
All right.
Right here, the 8th continent, the one that that called me Sarasuda said he called me a pseudo. It was never no damn continent in the 8th ocean. Now the white folks verifying it, and an indigenous American record is the one that actually has the most antiquity to it in describing the plate tectonics, bro. Y'all just gotta look at the sources.
All right. Thank you,
y'all African mind.
All right.
Aboriginal salute, guy. Aboriginal salute.
All right. Now hold on. Brother Jabari, I'm going to let you respond. But Brother Jabari, you know that you are the people's champ. Your behind be doing the same thing too, brother. So please stop this. You go in, you go long, you're long-winded too.
No, but here's the deal. Here's the deal. I want you to recognize we just had a 4-hour debate. This is an after party. This brother, you ever see when someone's in a prize fight and they get knocked out, and when the ref wakes them up, they get up and they start swinging? That's what's happening. It's been 4 hours. This is not for you to relitigate this, Dr. Ali Muhammad. It's something to do. And I am frustrated because in about 12 hours, I have to be on a plane. I have not packed, right? The debate was supposed to be on Saturday. You couldn't do it Saturday. So we said, okay, we'll do it on Sunday. But you can't go and do the whole debate again. Especially when what you're describing ethers you. The debate is about whether, I don't know why I have to say this again, our people are indigenous or indigenous to this land, or we are the African. And so what he does is he shows you a large number of commentaries from European explorers. And he says, they said that these people were us. And then when I go to the source, by the way, I want you to understand, when he says something ridiculous, you know how much time it takes to find exactly what he's saying that's ridiculous? You have to understand the kind of work that goes into this. But because I've watched him enough, I go, that can't be real. Let me just find it. So when I'm showing you that I can put his quote that he did not show on the screen, that means I had to run down his source, and his source impeaches him. His point is that the indigenous people of this land were us. But when you read the quote from Jack Forbes, that is from the Jesuit letters, it actually says they always distinguish the people that they are saying are dark here from the people they are saying that are dark in Africa. That is the point. That's the point. How could you read the same thing that ethers you with confidence and get ethered in a private debate and then get ethered in a public YouTube channel? Stop, Ali. And then say it 4 times. I'm saying, are you going to make a point? You just say the same thing. Now let's talk about Verrazano, since you did. Verrazano says that these people were dark. But when we look at their features, they look Oriental, like the people from the furthest Cenarian regions. He's saying they're dark, but they look Chinese. That is what he's saying. That's your source. That ethers you once again. And then finally, Ali has an old book. Commend him. Sometimes old books get refuted. And everyone in the world, every scholar in the world is now saying those Inca things are fake. The guy that said he found them has admitted to carving them, and he's still running down the road. Sanetter, you have to understand why I'm frustrated. Because we're not going to relitigate an entire debate, which he lost, and then I'm going to prove to you why he lost again for another 4 hours. I don't have that kind of time. I don't have that kind of time. He thinks that this is not a scholarly debate. This is Apollo, Showtime at the Apollo. You can do all the theatrics and everything, doing all this and all that. Do all of that. The reality is your sources impeach you. And the only people that are going to agree with you are the people who are already on Team Abo. Because regardless of what you say, they're going to agree. I saw Sister Bethy come in. Now, look, I think that if Sister Bethy was in that debate, she would have made a comment. Did you see Sister Bethy make a comment on the debate? No.
Sister Bethy was in the building. Yeah, I seen her make comments. Yeah, she was in the building, Jabari. She bought
say to you, regardless of what they say, regardless of what anyone says, they're going to argue this because this is the sportsification of knowledge. I'm a Mets fan, even though they just traded their Mets pitcher. It sucks. I'm a Mets fan. That's not how information and scholarship is supposed to be. You're supposed to get new information and then change your ideas. He will never change his ideas. Every scholar says those Inca stones are fake. And then after I showed it to him, then he says, well, I did say some of them were fake and some of them are real. Well, how would you know which ones are fake and which ones are real? By the way, the guy that found them says he carved them. Stop, Ali. Know when to pump the brakes because the car is already off the cliff. Stop it.
What the hell, man?
Stop it. The referee woke him up and he's stop it. The people can see here that doesn't make sense. And then he said, Jabari said they weren't black, but they're saying they're black here. You know what we're talking about, Ali. I'm not disputing whether they're dark-skinned or not. Are they us? And the Europeans distinguish them from us. The same Europeans that you want to use as your source. They're distinguishing them from us. And it's on the screen and he's pretending like he didn't read it. He's reading something and he's pretending that it supports what he's saying. It doesn't support what you're saying. I'm done.
All right, let me go on over to
That was good back and forth right there, yo. That was a good after show back and forth, bro.
And I can't be here much longer. I can't be here much longer.
I got hold on, Sultan. If it's a question, y'all gotta be a minute or two, and that's it. That's it. No going back and forth no more, because we got to move forward. And we got the people in here that want to ask the question. Suntan, what's up?
Brother Ali, this is for you. Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Okay. I did this, and this with all due respect. I think, Brother Ali, you could have just blew the thing away if you, because what you were saying and what your premise was you was taking out the out of Africa theory. Now that would have been, yeah, because if you saying that they was already here, then there could be no out of Africa theory. If people was already here, because the premise is that, you know, they didn't come from Africa here. They was already here. And I wanted to know, how did they get here? Did they just pop up or something, things like that? So I was thinking if you had showed some sort of journey or some sort of way that they got here first, then you would have been able to sway me. But you never showed how they ever got here, you know, and you didn't blow the out of Africa theory away because you never really focused on that point. So could you answer that? Do you think that you could have blew away the out of Africa theory, or that what you was not trying to do? You was trying to show something different. That's it.
Yes, sir. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
I see the brother, but I can't see myself. I just got knocked off or something.
Yeah, I could just see me for right now. But you know,
okay, but yeah. So if everybody can hear me, I'm not on. You can hear me, right?
I can hear you.
Okay, great. So now, when we come to the out of Africa theory, one of the things that I tried to do in the third round and my last 5 minutes, this is why I used Albert Perry and I started talking about bottlenecks. Now, one thing you have to consider. I'm not showing anything right now on my slide, but I can go back down to that. Hold on, let me go back there.
Well, if you don't want to, I just wanted to hear your speech on.
Yeah. So I'm gonna tell you what my thought process was in this.
Yeah, I did.
First of all, when you start dealing with human evolution and we're dealing with 20-minute rounds, right?
Right.
I have to present information. My strategy was the audience. I'm not disrespecting the audience, but when you start talking about higher levels of science without building yourself up into that, you could lose the audience. So I'm a teacher by trade. Like, that's my whole history. I was a principal of a school. So one of the reasons why I started sourcing primary temples where we the indigenous peoples painted those temples was to establish that there was a black race with the phenotypes here that never said that they were African. That's first thing. Okay, so now I'm going through that repetitive thing. When I got to Albert Perry, which I successfully did prove, is that his descendants, S&P networks, have never been found in Africa. That's important. And they went to Cameroon to try to find it. And amongst the population that they did find the AO and the AOO variant, they still couldn't find it. Now that leads to say maybe they need to do more research. So as it stands, that's the oldest DNA. And I showed that when they said, even in the genetic report, that Albert Perry was born in South Carolina. No, Albert Perry moved to South Carolina, in the same city that I grew up in, Columbia. Albert Perry, on official state documents, was born in Florida at the time that it was an Indian territory owned by the Spanish and the at that time the Seminoles and those Indians who were warring with the United States. He's born in that. I showed a primary source on that, if y'all remember that. So the reason why I wanted to show the ancient DNA here not being proven from Africa is because, believe me, they want to prove that's from Africa, but they literally locked in and they can't prove that those SMP networks are from Africa. They haven't been able to do it. So now the reason why I started talking about bottlenecks, which is me running out of time, is because when you introduce the bottleneck conversation into the discussion, this is when you can get into the discussion of what Brother King Wade was asking. He asked it about the Buenos Aires skull and other things. My agenda was to show that based on the bottlenecks, I can prove that there were migrations, which is why I was showing the map for the Inca stones. By the way, which, I mean, people think it's funny, but I have a statement from that same man saying that he only told the people who he told that they were fake because they were pressing him and he was afraid. And I have that direct statement from him, and I'm going to show it before we get off of here. But my point is, the chronology of what I was showing was to show first antiquity, then to get deeper into antiquity, then to show bottlenecks, and to show what happened on the African continent with these hominids. And I also mentioned the ocean dispersals with the dinosaurs and the old world monkeys, where evolutionists are saying somehow they left continents at a time that were separated by oceans and made it to the other side and were able to reproduce and procreate. That right there was a big dagger, and we can have whole conversations. I think these conversations need to go on, because what's going to happen is if I prove how stupid ocean dispersals is, you have to show me how old world monkeys get into the new world and how stuff gets across oceans at certain times when there was they couldn't swim.
All right. All right.
If man was here, then man would have did it. And the only place that showed man with that type of antiquity on the record from the hands of the people was in the Americas, which is why I was showing those particular documents.
All right. Let me move on. When y'all finish, I need y'all to come out, because other people trying to get in. Y'all could go in the back and let the people in.
Quick question, so
right.
Quick question, brother.
Yeah.
You remember we had some questions from the debate that some people
yeah, well, they gotta get in here. They gotta come in.
No, they actually we got them. We got in front of the thing.
All right. They here now?
No, we got the actual questions.
No. Don't worry.
You don't want to.
They gotta come in, brother.
Okay.
Come on to.
Peace. Can you hear me, brothers?
I hear you. What's up, bro?
Nice to meet you guys. I'm a big fan. I'm calling in from South Africa.
You in South Africa now?
Wow. Yes, sir.
Wow. You see that? We reaching all over, baby. Go ahead, talk to us, man. What's up, brother?
Yeah, man. I mean, I'm young, and I think there's a big renaissance happening on the continent. We're tapping into Black consciousness and we're trying to learn our history. I think we're a few years behind, but I've just been listening. I think the debate is amazing. I think, in my opinion, I think that Ali proved that they were Aboriginal Black, so-called African people in the Americas at that time. I won't contest that.
Why you say so-called African Americans?
Right, because he doesn't believe in the term.
Okay.
Yeah, I believe in the term. In fact, I disagree with Ali on a few points, but I know I don't have a lot of time. And I purchased this book as well, so I'm really looking forward to reading that book. My question to Brother Ali is, what percentage of Black Americans would you say are Aboriginal, and what percentage are connected to the continent? Because I'm not seeing, looks like a small group, a small lineage of them are Aboriginal, but most of them, I think, Jabari proved that hundreds of thousands came on ships to the Americas. So that would be my question to Brother Ali, and I have one for Jabari as well, but should I wait for Ali to respond
Ali,
first?
go first. Ali?
All right, so one of the things that we could deal with the populations pre-Columbian is to get statistics on, let's say, if we're going to go amongst the Mayan populations at particular times, especially at their classical periods, how many people inhabited that particular space. And the numbers that you're going to get right now are 7 to 11 million. That's just in that area of Mexico. Then we can come later to points where we deal in the southeast part of America. But to answer your question about percentages, and see, this is why the conversation has to get extended. When you deal with bottlenecks, you deal with population size is going down, based on environmental catastrophes, etc. The reason why Perry is important is because Perry definitely has what you would call pre-bottleneck DNA. That's the antiquity of it. That's how they would look at it. And so now when you start dealing with percentages, what you would have to be able to calculate is from all of the, let's say the Y chromosome lineages from A all the way to the ones that go into F and the Qs that are Eurasian, etc. You would have to quantify amongst the bottleneck populations that happen in any particular point, how much of those S&Ps that classify you based on a haplogroup were able to descend now to these other parts. So now if we come amongst Black people now, it's difficult for us to do that. We have to deal with archaeo DNA and able to establish that. And in order to do that, we got to go into these places where we have these temples and other places, dig all of them up, get as many bodies as we can, and do studies and run their genetics to see what percentages come up of A or B or even E, which are the haplogroups that usually match people with our phenotypes. All right. And so right now, this is a work that we have to do in order to establish those percentages. Now, when you start dealing with genetic testing, right? And let's say you go take a test from 23andMe, right? They're using our current S&Ps that we have to match them to modern African S&Ps. And then they're saying, based on the theory of evolution, that, okay, in order for African Americans to have these S&Ps, it had to be during the slave trade. One of the reasons why I show high interaction between Aboriginals and people on the continent is to show this exchange that was happening before the pre-Columbian era. And so now when we look at the African American population and we say, what's African DNA versus Aboriginal American DNA, right? My position is these are the same people that have migrated from different points. And my point of contention was the migration start was here because of the antiquity of the civilizations. What has to be done, like Perry was done, is to prove we have unique genetics that are not on the African continent and can't be found. Or if we have similarity, when did those similarities arise? And so genetic testing is a great thing, but when it adds in the current concept of evolution into the equation, my position is it's way off because it has to introduce the fact that the primary oldest indigenous population in the Americas is us and not Eurasians. And if that's introduced, they will be forced to use our modern genes to do the measurements. And so that's my position on that particular question.
Powerful. Ali made that up.
If I could say something here, Albert Perry was discovered by a number of geneticists who were doing some work looking at the human genome, and they happened across a very old lineage that was found in African Americans. Ali Muhammad didn't find him. None of the Abos found him. There's a scholarly paper on what they found. The folks in the Aboriginal community would like you to ignore the work of the people that brought this topic to light, because the paper doesn't say what they're saying. It does not say what they're saying. I showed the paper during the debate. I showed this paper to Shan Jor. Can you please show this? This is the scholarly paper done by Fernando Mendez, Thomas Cron, and Bonnie Scrack. They're the geneticists, right? And they were surprised to actually find that there was this very old DNA from the very beginning. They're telling you it's African-American DNA. They would like you to believe something else, but the people who brought it forward are telling you it's African-American DNA. They try to say that he wasn't enslaved. This is ridiculous. The paper describes it. In fact, as you go down here, very clearly, when they actually show you the breakdown of when they believe this DNA must have traced to, they actually say, well, listen, we see very similar DNA in Cameroon amongst the Mbo. This is the scholarly paper. They would like you to believe that they don't find it. Did they find the exact strain? No. But the authors of the paper actually have, by the way, listen, they're even showing you where they believe it must have come from. I mean, they're going to just ignore that they're showing you a map of Nigeria, Chad, and Cameroon. They just ignore it. They throw it out because it doesn't fit their argument. And the authors of the paper say, this is the reason. They tell you why they believe they find this data in the United States and not where they believe it originated. This is in their scholarly paper. How in the world can Ali Muhammad tell you that he's discarding the paper by which we found out about this data because he knows more? How? I mean, this is ridiculous. Listen to what they say. The large sample size of African Americans was critical for the discovery of the AOO lineage, given its very low frequency estimate in sub-Saharan Africa. However, even the large consumer-based African American data set examined here is a highly biased representation of sub-Saharan Africans. They're telling you that this is a representation of sub-Saharan Africans. How do you read the paper about the topic and discard the paper and only take the pieces that you like? That is not scholarship. Let's continue. Because it captures only genetic diversity inherited from ancestors living at a particular time and place, i.e., essentially the West African coastal source area of the Atlantic slave trade, Now,
I'm about to get out of here, but real quick, we can elaborate on that shit right there, what he just said. Look, his article is based on the back to eugenics and back to that all black people that's in America came from West Africa, right? Which is eugenics, right? Did you hear the spin he tried to take with that? The article is suggesting that because there's no way possible that there could be no black people here before they brought us here, then he automatically go back to West Africa.
They just totally ignore the fact that the people that was here could have already been here just because they were the same color as Africans.
No.
That's crazy.
That's not what they're saying. You guys totally missed the point. You weren't listening to what he was telling about.
That's exactly what they said.
Albert Perry is African.
No, he is
Perry
not.
ain't African.
Here's the thing. The simple fact of the matter is they never once mentioned Sierra Leone alone was in 1787, same year the Constitution. Then all of the West Coast is under the American Colonization Society. So even if they can show supposed similarity in DNA material, it's because of what was taken from here to there, you dimwit.
There's no evidence of that.
Oh man, that's plenty of evidence.
There's
Plenty
not
of DNA.
one single shred of evidence. You guys went to Louisa, and Louisa, I posted in the back, has already been debunked in 2018 that she's an Amerindian. She's nothing to do with Melanesia or nothing to do with any type of black anything. I posted in the back chat.
American Indian is us, you knucklehead. Why do we entertain?
Alabama, Amerindian. Okay, I'm not making up the terminology. I'm just using the terminology. Okay, don't get mad at me, Alabama.
That's all it is.
They call them.
That's the problem right there, though. That we allow these people that come from another place to start to go around, and all of a sudden they got the knowledge to defining everybody. That's the bullshit.
No,
in
we're
the game.
sharing knowledge. No, we're sharing knowledge. I'm not.
They ain't sharing no knowledge because they're not. Because if they would come and talking to the people that's in these places longer than some other people, right? That predate some other people, and actually have the conversation and bring them on their platform and have them in the peer reviews. And not having the people in the peer reviews though. So it's
The biggest
bullshit.
presumption he is making is that him using the phrase Amerindian is these Native American Mongoloids. See, it's unsaid, but knowing people are brainwashed and conditioned to think who is the Indian. First of all, this is a bogus misnomer placed upon the Aboriginals. It said it in its own definition. We are the only American. And you brothers know why I say that and will pronounce it till the day I die. And we listen to these absquatulating slob, noxious ass slaves. That's what you do when you don't
Hey,
have any
How
clue.
could you
Hey,
use African American when the term wasn't even used at that time?
That's the
Bamu,
point.
hey Bamu,
Point.
you can
Point
at least
made.
give me, hey Bamu, at least give me a credit. I know that you guys ain't Indians, so when everybody else called you guys Indians, I know you guys ain't claiming Indians.
Man, stop that, man. That trick don't
That's
work on
crazy.
nobody, dog. Real shit. You
That's
know what I mean?
that's,
Like I
that's,
said,
that's
when they having
stupid.
these previews, they not having anybody else in there. And the information that they're collecting, these archaeologists, they're holding this shit for
We're
years
not
before they
gonna
even come out
let
with the studies and shit.
the
So they
European
full of shit.
Slavs
You know this.
label us, and that's what we're not going to do. That's not going to happen. You
Yeah, no
believe
one's
whatever you
doing
want
that.
to, bro.
No one wants to do that. No one's doing that. You have some
They
kind of
are
crazy.
doing it. They're trying to
Yeah,
label us. That's what they've been doing for
yeah,
years.
you're crazy, man.
Why the hell can't we be who we are? Why you
Now,
why you
now,
walking
We
around?
wait a minute, Kusa. Under his breath, he just
No one's
called you
stop.
crazy.
No
Now, see
one's
the
stopping
same
you,
kind
Yeah,
of
he
man.
did.
bullshit
No one's
coming
stopping
from
you.
you
Exactly.
of squatulating immigrant motherfuckers that we never allowed you to come here. And you have the goddamn gall or arrogance to say shit. Period.
Right. To deny who I am. Be
I
who you
agree.
are.
Nice grandstand. Nice
That's the
grandstand,
fight. That's
Alabama.
the
Nice.
fight. You and people like Jabari, because he look like me, that means I'm a kundalai, I'm a sellout, I'm a denier of myself. Just because Jabari looks like me, I'm supposed to deny myself too, just like he do? No, no, we don't do that here, brother. We never will.
Listen, he in the back. His fucking ride is over with. You know, I just stepped away. I wasn't gonna let that motherfucker go too long because I already know where he going. He enforced eugenics. He is a Slavic. He is a descendants of the people who were probably enslaved
Murder.
more lately. Um, I see you, Hawk, man. Shit, you look nice and bright out there. It's getting dark where we at. Shit, chilling. That's what's up, bro.
I
But
heard his voice, man. I couldn't help myself. I had to go in on it.
definitely. Definitely, I mean, the debate was good, but like I said, they're gonna always be disingenuous when it comes
Mm-hmm.
to these claims over here. No matter who says it, they're gonna spin it around and make it seem like we from Africa or we have
Uh-huh.
to be from Africa. So that's always gonna be the narrative, man. But
Uh-huh.
look, man, I definitely appreciate everybody coming through, man. I was gonna do a bill earlier, but they ended up doing that. They ended up doing what's the name, the debate a little early, so. But I gotta get up out of here, man. It's getting late.
A1,
Hey,
thanks for the
A1,
time, man. But could
appreciate it,
you
bro.
reach out? Do you have any contacts to get an interview with Ali and kind of pull his coattail?
I'll see what I could do. I know AP was he was trying to, but he should have been had a conversation with some of us. But see, the thing of it is that he think, I don't know. He probably think he better than to research with us because he think that his information he put out there years ago. But certain contention points that I learned from Ali Muhammad. But I got my own research, and I have other people who I was listening to that was talking about, Aboriginal information. You know what I'm saying? So I see what I can do though, man. But everybody, I appreciate everybody coming through, man. Definitely, man. I don't know.
Yeah, salute, salute.
It's getting dark where I'm at, man. So I guess everybody try to enjoy the rest of their day, man. But it was
Yeah.
a good debate. I got Ali Muhammad because Jabari ain't nothing but a whining ass bitch. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So definitely, man, shout out to Ali Muhammad. That's another win for us. And like I said, at the end of the day, all roads lead back to America, no matter what these people say.
More
That's
power
what
to you, Americans.
that's a fact.
Yeah,
That's a fact.
salute,
That's a
salute.
fact. So with that being said, man, peace to the gods, peace to the goddesses, peace to the Aborigines, North, South, Central, and the conjoining islands, or whatever, man. I see you, Hawk, man. Have a good one, bro. Peace to the gods, man.